Check out Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 weekdays from 3 to 6 to get more moments like this.
But if you're going to be the CEO guy that just trusts your offensive coordinator and everybody else to do their job, when it's not working, you got to step in. I mean, that's what overseers do. That's what management's there for. Like, that's what the CEO's there for. If something's not working, then you got to fix it. Like, you have to know. Like, we can't all be sitting there in the press box and in the stands and on our couches and say, why isn't James Robinson in the game for 16 plays, but the head coach doesn't ask that question?
Hey, Bruiser, you ready to do the old holiday shopping routine?
Yeah, I got all the houses picked out.
Alrighty.
Hey, you know, I almost feel sorry for these folks.
Don't go soft on me now. That's why they pay insurance.
Okay, so you promise those kids will just lose their bikes for a little while?
Yeah, I promise. Whatever.
All right, then let's sing our favorite holiday song.
Yeah. We're making our list, checking it twice.
Looking for houses with things that are nice. Bruiser and Browser are coming to town. We're filling our truck, we won't leave much.
Avoiding those houses at God's safe touch.
Bruiser and Browser are coming to town.
Crime does increase during the holidays. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, owner of Safe Touch Security Systems. Our new Safe Touch two-way communicator saves lives and prevents property loss every day. Our average response time is an incredible 14 seconds. Nobody can match our servers or our price. You have my guarantee on it.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Sick of big banks drawing money out of Jacksonville? Want your money to stay here and help local folks? At One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, all of our capital is invested back into Northeast Florida. This includes our all-new hometown credit card. You get all the rewards and perks of a big bank, and every swipe invests back in Jax. Get 2 points for every $1, up to 50,000 bonus points, 24/7 fraud protection, pay with points, and tons more. Support your community with a hometown credit card from One-to-One Financial. Apply at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA, a proud Visa partner.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-333-1750. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
Do you know a child who is deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine is a fully accredited, tuition-free state public school that gives children an edge for a lifetime of success. FSDB is nationally recognized for its educational services designed for students' unique communication and accessibility needs. Eligible pre-K and kindergarten through 12th grade students benefit from small class sizes, advanced technology, and various recreation, extracurricular, and performing arts activities. Transportation and boarding services are free to any eligible deaf or blind student, kindergarten through high school, no matter where the student lives in Florida. My name is Trent Ferguson, and I'm a proud graduate of this wonderful school. This place changes lives. To learn more information or to apply for enrollment, call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdbk12.org.
If you're experiencing domestic violence, it is not your fault. Hubbard House is here for you. You are not alone. Hubbard House provides free services and emergency shelter to survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties. Call 904-354-3114 anytime, 24/7 to confidentially speak to a caring advocate.
Texting enrolls enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. This is a legit product. The key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text BEACH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenix samples are not available in stores, so text BEACH to 321-321 right now. Text BEACH to 321-321. Text BEACH to 321-321.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter Update.
I'm Brian Middleton. Let's get started. NFL, the Jags are coming into Sunday's game against the Rams with the second worst scoring offense in the league. OC Darrell Bevel talks about having to face a tough LA defense.
So they have really talented players. They're well coached. They do a nice job. So it's going to be a huge challenge for us. And, the biggest issue ends up being handled in the front. You have to be able to protect the quarterback.
ECHL, Jacksonville dropping their game last night in Orlando to the Solar Bears by a final of 4-1. James Sanchez scoring the only goal for the Icemen. They aren't back in action again until next Wednesday. And finally, high school football, a couple of local teams in action for their state semifinals. Trinity Christian takes on Orlando Christian in a 2A matchup, and Bowles will face Cocoa in a 4A bout. Both of those games start at 7:30 p.m. And this SportsCenter update is brought to you by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Quitting tobacco isn't easy. The good news is, Tobacco-Free Florida is here to help you quit your way by offering the free support and tools you'll need to succeed. Our AHEC cessation program offers Group Quit, virtual classes you can take from the comfort of your own home across every county in Florida. All you need is a phone, tablet, or computer. You may also be eligible to receive up to $400 worth of free quit aids, such as nicotine patches, lozenges, or gum. You aren't alone, and our group quit sessions can offer the support you've needed all along. It doesn't matter how many times you've tried to quit, now is your time to succeed, because now is the time to quit your way. So give us a call at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW to double your chances of success. Ask about free nicotine replacement options to help you quit today. This is your start to a tobacco-free life. No judgments, just help.
Hey, boss, did you notice the holiday decorations on your street?
Oh, yeah, it's getting to be that time of year again.
Yeah, makes me so happy I want to sing.
Uh-oh, I smell a song coming on.
It's beginning to look a lot like Crooksmas.
Nice. Packages near every door.
But the prettiest sight to me...
no safe touch signs, you see.
Do-it-yourself alarms we like much more.
A pair of houses in a row.
Do they have safe touch?
No, no, no.
So crooks like us use Crash and Smash
to get inside and take the cash.
It's beginning to look a lot like Crooksmas.
DIY alarms we love for sure.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah's savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Maryland basketball coach Mark Turgeon is stepping down effective immediately. Turgeon signed a 3-year contract extension back in April that would have kept him in College Park until 2026. Notre Dame defensive coordinator Marcus Freeman will be the new head coach of the Irish. He'll take over the team for their upcoming bowl game after Brian Kelly left for LSU. The SEC title game tomorrow in Atlanta, number 1 Georgia and 3rd-ranked Alabama. How can the Tide knock off the unbeaten Bulldogs? ESPN's David Pollack.
I think their defense would have to play out of their mind. I think their offense has to change schematically. I don't think they can just do what they've been doing and run out of shotgun. I think they need to go under center some. They need to play action more. They need to run the football more effectively than that. I think they need to go up-tempo. So, you know what I'm saying, Green? I'm saying late in the season, they're going to have to change who they've been and what they've been. That's hard to do. I know Nick will have a plan for it.
David Pollack on Get Up. The Trailblazers fire GM and President Neil.
We're back on Monday reacting to everything from Week 13 in the NFL. I'll give you my key observations at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Monday morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, right here on ESPN Radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. It may have not been easy after that Thanksgiving hangover, but we're here. I'm here. No feet in the parking lot. We got 3 hours of quality, 3 hours of content, 3 hours of laughs, and maybe 3 hours to make you think a little bit. My co-host, Brett Martineau, on assignment in L.A. Also on assignment right now is our producer, Casey, who got the go-ahead, I guess, and they're taking a little excursion to L.A. They're going to go to, I think, maybe a Lakers game tonight. Maybe go to Anaheim it's not the Mighty Ducks, but the Anaheim Ducks game tonight. I have no idea what's going on, all right? I found this out this Monday that they were going to L.A. Now, maybe they emailed me sooner, didn't see those emails. You know how I get down, not much of a corporate guy. If you're going someplace, just tell me. I'll put it in the memory bank, and we'll be fine. But with that being said, with Casey being out, we are welcomed now by our new producer, Brian, who y'all should know if you watch any part of the overtime segments. Brian does a great job. But Brian, filling in for Casey today, getting the call up, going with the righty, going to the bullpen. Brian, how we doing, man?
Hey, man, I like it, man. You know, once you are retired from MMA, man, hype man.
Yeah.
Just add that to your resume.
Oh, I appreciate that,
I like
man.
That right there.
I appreciate that, man. You know, I mean, I had a whole day to think about that, but I appreciate that. But, yeah, man, we'll be holding down the fort today. Going to be keeping the car on the road, hopefully, as Brent gave us the keys. Brent should be checking with us around 4. And by my understanding, Casey might be calling in, too, maybe with some picks or something like that in the 5 o'clock hour, or maybe talk about his Thursday night football record, which, spoiler alert, isn't the best looking thing. But before we get into sports here, I know there's been an update about my cell phone situation, and I want to keep the people up there up to date with that because people were wondering, I'm sure. And I've decided that I'm going to go in the David Blaine route. Now, Brian, do you know who David Blaine is?
I've heard the name.
Yes.
It's like he's an entertainer.
He is an entertainer. Yeah. I mean, he's an entertainer. So I guess you'd call him like a street magician.
That's right. Yeah.
And he's known for doing these crazy kind of stunts. I mean, for instance, I think the guy froze himself for like 2 days. He once buried himself for a week with no food, I think there was. Okay. I think he held his breath underwater for like 10 minutes once. Yeah, so just this guy who, I mean, if you want to call him a magician, you can call him a magician. I just think he's a crazy dude who puts his body through you know what. For me personally, you know, I haven't had my phone now for 2 days. We're going on 48 hours right now. Very tragic. But you know what? I'm feeling good about it. The first 24 hours, withdrawals, wanted to play some podcasts, wanted to play some music at the gym, couldn't do it, but I found a way through. Couldn't go on Twitter, couldn't go on Facebook. Not really sure what's happening in the sports world. Thank God for Google. But I overcame. And now we're on almost hour 48. And you know what? I'm still doing okay, and it makes me wonder, how long could I go without a cell phone? How long can I push myself to the limits before it becomes too much where, hey, I got to listen to some music, man. Hey, I got to get that Joe Rogan podcast back up. I'm okay right now. I think I can hold out for at least a week. Now, the problem with that is work emails not getting checked. Brent probably trying to text me. That's not getting seen. Casey maybe trying to text me. Not getting seen. Brian, if you had a fail-safe, like for instance, so my wife right now is essentially screening my text messages through my friends. Like if my friends got to get a hold of me, they go through my wife.
Okay.
She's not impressed about it. And I appreciate her sacrifice and her service to this whole ordeal while I wait for the insurance company to figure out my cell phone. But she's doing a great job of keeping me informed. If you had a fail-safe in place, how long could you go without using a cell phone?
Well, that's a good question. I would say a week would be easy because there's a sense of peace, like you said. After the first 24 hours, the withdrawals, once you get past that, you realize
refreshing.
how peaceful it is.
It's refreshing,
You don't have a bunch of different notifications and things, and Facebook says this, IG did this, and there's another text. So I could go easily. Watch this. Easily, I could go a month.
You could go a month. Brian, you could go a month.
I have a fail-safe, right? So I could go a month. I don't need the phone. To be honest with you, I don't like talking on the phone. I don't like talking to people on the phone like one-on-one. Unless it's like an emergency or something, like with family or friends or something like that. So,
of course.
31 days, as a matter of fact, not 28 days in February, 31 days.
Okay.
I could go that long at least.
Okay, now I can't stress this enough, though, because you got to keep in mind, I know what you're thinking to yourself probably. Well, okay, if it's on my phone, I still have Facebook Messenger, I have Twitter. Those things are all connected to my cell phone because, I had to go with that two-step verification process because I wasn't trying to get hacked. So I don't have a Facebook. Well, I have a Facebook Messenger thing. I figured that out finally. But in terms of Facebook, that's not really a thing right now. Twitter's not really a thing. You could go a month without using all that stuff. I respect it if this is true.
I mean, easily, man. Now, I say that because it's a hypothetical that we're probably not going to find out.
Hopefully not.
Right? I know probably back in, I don't know what, the 1900s, or when they didn't have cell phones, most people would be like, that's it, 31 days. I remember all of my phone numbers. That's what they would say back then. But yeah, man, easily. It's just, I know the piece that you're talking about right now at the 48-hour mark, where you're just like, nah, it's not, I'm not bugged by anything. I'm still getting my messages via my wife. I'm not missing anything.
You're not?
And I get all the peace. I feel you, man.
So you still have the TV, still have the Netflix going. Yeah, and by the way, I mean, if you want to take this journey with me, you just got to get the same cell phone provider that I have, and I'll be good. Now, I'm not gonna rat out the cell phone provider I had. They might be a sponsor one day, but it rhymes with tint. Let's just say the cell phone provider rhymes with tint that I'm dealing with their insurance company right now, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, number two, what we got to address a little bit. And first of all, I want to owe the 690 Syndicate, as we call our fan base here. It's been a while, Syndicate members, but I haven't forgotten about you. I'm still here. We're still running things, and I appreciate my street team. I got to apologize to the Syndicate because last night, in terms of when I left this show, what did I say? I had to leave a little early. I was going to a poker tournament to represent the Syndicate to say, hey, I'm holding it down for ESPN 690, and I'm bringing home the championship, right? Because I'm in the mood for championships lately, it seems like. Well, I couldn't have been any farther off from calling that shot because I might have been the second person out of that tournament last night. Now, I didn't have to pay to get into it. It was for Mark K and K's Kids, which is a great foundation helping kids, have a better Christmas, underprivileged kids. I'm all for that. It was a great event to be a part of. Free food at Best Bet Poker, and they do it right. Best sushi maybe in town, which makes zero sense to me how a poker room can have so much sushi, but I overdid myself. And I sat at a table with my peers, the people that I work with here. So the environment was absolutely pristine. Mwah, chef's kiss. Couldn't have been any better. But for whatever reason, just didn't have my A game. For whatever reason, just couldn't read people last night. If you remember 2 years ago in this poker tournament, out of 100 people, I got third place. And this is with some dude that was sitting next to me trying to talk about his coin collection the whole time. Literally, for 30 minutes, hey, you into coins? No, man, I sure aren't. Well, you want to see my pictures of some coins I got? And you know me, I'm too nice, man. So I'm looking at this dude's coin collection. I'm trying to count cards at the same time. I'm trying to place bets. I was on tilt that night, as the professionals say. 2 years later, fast forward to last night, couldn't read anybody, got bullied around, lost all my money right away, and it is what it is. So I owe an apology to the 690 Syndicate. We did not bring home a championship. We did get a little embarrassed. I wasn't the first celebrity bounty out, but I think I was the second. Oh, and by the way, shout out to William Hung. I'm not sure if you guys know who William Hung is, former, I think, American Idol contestant who couldn't really sing but made a career out of not singing.
Wait, he was there?
He was one of the celebrities.
What is going on, right?
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. Brian, you know what? Like, yeah, it was cool playing in the NFL, and that was a great time. You know, it's cool being an MMA fighter and getting to fight on UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah, I bet.
You want to talk about stroking my ego, though, in terms of A-list celebrities at a celebrity tournament? I was next to William Hung, man.
Okay.
I was talking about poker with William Hung. By the way, guy is a shark. Guy absolutely kills the poker game. That's what he's doing now. Moved to Jacksonville. Not sure where he moved from, but lives in Jacksonville and plays a lot of poker. So I had a nice conversation with him, and I had no idea what to say to the dude. What am I going to say to William Hung? Hey, what was it like, 10 years ago when you were singing and recording all those? I mean, I had nothing to say to the dude, but he was still cool. So it is what it is, man. Got to meet William Hung last night. Got embarrassed in poker, but you know what? There's always next year, and I ain't going to go out first 2 years in a row, so you can bet on that if I get invited back. I don't know. If they keep getting guys like William Hung, I may get moved down the list, and then I won't be able to do that anymore.
I was about to say, do you get a re-invite if you go out so early, if you play poorly?
Man.
Do they check your ability level for the following year?
Well, to be fair, and I'm not going to call anybody out because, once again, the table that I sat at was people that I work with. There was a reason why I went out so early, because I had no idea what kind of moves these people were making. People going all in on 2-7. People had pairs of threes. Oh, all in off the flop. It's just, it was absolute chaos last night, Brian, and I couldn't read it. But the good thing and the silver lining that comes out of leaving that poker tournament early was the fact that I got to go home and I got to watch some Thursday night football. And I got to watch the Saints-Cowboys. Now, did you watch any of this?
I did.
Okay. Let's agree right now. And I know the people in terms of the experts and maybe the medical experts want to say, well, it was a great performance from Taysom Hill. He's got a really bad finger. He's got some nerve damage, I guess. The same thing that Russell Wilson's got. I guess they call it mallet finger. Not sure if it's named after Ryan Mallett, the former quarterback, or if it's like a mallet from a hammer you hit your finger. But apparently Taysom Hill has mallet finger. I don't care. Because if we had that soundbite ready right now, Taysom Hill, you ain't that guy, okay? You ain't that guy. And I get people that want to say, well, what does Taysom Hill have in the organization? Why did they give him a new contract? What is the deal with Taysom Hill, and why does Sean Payton love Taysom Hill so much? Now, yes, he had 2 touchdowns. He was running around like Mike Vick, and it looked great. But 4 interceptions ain't going to get the job done. And to me, when we talk about the Saints, and to me, the Saints, they're... the Saints are always kind of an interesting team to me because they're hard to dislike, and they've been through a lot. I mean, there was Bountygate with the Saints. There was that whole opiate thing with like the pain pills and the medical staff with the Saints. But through all that, and maybe Hurricane Katrina had something to do with that as well in terms of them having to overcome that and then go to the Super Bowl. But like, I find myself, being indifferent towards the Saints and the Saints fans per se. Like, I love Bourbon Street. I love the city of New Orleans. I don't mind that stadium. Played there a couple times. It's a pretty cool spot. It's a very cool atmosphere. So I have nothing against Saints fans, the city, the team. Nothing against Sean Payton either. But to me, what's going on right now with the Saints, and yes, when Jameis Winston got hurt, that was a huge blow to them, but then you got the sense that, okay, I guess the Taysom Hill card's going to get pulled. This, to me, right here, is Sean Payton, though, at his finest in terms of ego. Because we always associate Sean Payton to an offensive guru, right? I mean, this was the guy that basically was thinking outside the box, goes after Drew Brees when nobody else wanted Drew Brees. Now, at the time, Miami did, but he didn't fit in the mold of, well, you may not be a starting quarterback because you're injured. That wasn't going to fly in the contract. So the Saints were the only team that was interested in Drew Brees. And when you got him, you were taking damaged goods because he was coming off a pretty significant, arm or shoulder injury, and they didn't know what he had left in the tank. Long story short, Sean Payton, Drew Brees, match made in heaven. They go to a Super Bowl, they win it. Drew Brees breaks a lot of records. And, the rest is history. Drew Brees now on the sidelines are, reporting with a great set of hair. Props to him for doing that. After that, though, Sean Payton, went the Jameis Winston route, right? But you always got the sense that Taysom Hill could have still been the guy. This, to me, is where Sean Payton's ego comes in. Taysom Hill, in case you didn't know, was with Green Bay to start off his career. didn't make the final 53, gets cut from Green Bay, shows up to New Orleans, and then, shows some promise as an athlete, and they kind of work him in. And then Sean Payton, slowly starts to make him into a quarterback, I guess, in his image. When we look at the NFL and what teams are successful, it's always about outside-the-box thinking, right? When the Green Bay Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers, that was outside-the-box thinking because, at the time, you still had Brett Favre for a couple more years, right? And you should have been living in the now because you're coming off a playoff run with Brett Favre. Getting Aaron Rodgers, that was outside-the-box thinking. Getting Patrick Mahomes when you had Alex Smith, well, that was probably outside-the-box thinking. Obviously, Tom Brady, 6th-round pick. I mean, it wasn't really outside the box. We didn't really sacrifice that much to get him. But trusting him over Drew Bledsoe, that might have been outside the box thinking. So then we have something in common with all this. Russell Wilson, another classic example. They pay Matt Flynn how much money? Russell Wilson comes in and, you know what? It's my job now. And they give Russell Wilson the job. Outside the box thinking. So we get the sense that, okay, if you want to make waves in the NFL, if you want to be a special team, it's going to require some outside-the-box thinking. And this is where Taysom Hill comes in. It's under my understanding that I think Sean Payton is so hell-bent on making Taysom Hill a quarterback because if he turns out to be an all-pro one day, then we will be praising Sean Payton and what he's able to do. Okay? Now, Taysom Hill is obviously a long ways away from that. I don't think he's even going to get there. But let's be honest here, Brian. If we talk about Drew Brees and all he was to accomplish, yes, Sean Payton was a big part of that. But if Sean Payton was able to turn Taysom Hill into, a top 5 and all-pro quarterback, would that be more impressive than what he was able to do with Taysom Hill over Drew Brees, would you say?
Yeah, we would have to change his name to Harry Potter. Like that's not happening, right? So he got Drew Brees after Drew came from the Chargers, and we already knew that Brees could play.
Yes,
I believe Phillip Rivers he came to the team, and he was deemed the future moving forward.
Correct.
And then Drew Brees moved on and did his own thing. But we knew that Drew Brees could throw the ball accurately and could play the position of quarterback at a high level ever since his time in college. So, yeah, if he was to do Drew Brees level things with Taysom, and his stat line, if you take the 4 interceptions out, and you don't look at the completions to incompletions, it is impressive. Like, 250, 260 yards passing, 100 yards rushing. You're like, oh, okay, this is the future. Yep. This is the kind of quarterback that a lot of teams are hoping to have. Someone who's not just mobile, but can really hurt you with their legs when they choose to and can get it done passing, whether in the pocket or moving around from side to side. But, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, number one. But if he does get Hill somewhat to the level of Drew Brees, I mean, that's going to be the jewel in his crown. Absolutely.
No, for sure. For sure. And yeah, Taysom Hill, once again, not that guy. You ain't going to be that guy. But that, to me, is what's going on right now in New Orleans. And you saw this with Trevor Siemian, too. Like when the New Orleans Saints announced Trevor Siemian, I'm sure even Saints fans were like, okay. Like, yeah, you trust in Sean Payton and what he can do on offense, but can Trevor Siemian take you to the playoffs? Is Trevor Siemian going to win you a Super Bowl? Is Taysom Hill going to win you a Super Bowl? Probably not. So right now in New Orleans, you have a quarterback problem. And this is kind of the trend that we're seeing around the league is that I feel like teams hang on too long sometimes and they fail to admit that they have a quarterback problem, right? They try their damnedest, they try their due diligence to try to make things work, and it just doesn't work. They've tried to make Taysom Hill work for a while now. Now, as a gadget guy, as a slasher, like whether a tight end / fullback, put him in the backfield as a running back sometimes, and occasionally maybe run like a quarterback wildcat, whatever the case may be, yes, Taysom Hill can definitely do that, and he could probably give you a little bit of an advantage there because not every team has a Taysom Hill. But to sit here and say, man, this is going to be your starting quarterback for years to come, there's just no way. So if you're Sean Payton right now, you got to realize that whether it's Trevor Siemian, whether it's Taysom Hill, you got a quarterback problem right now. And a lot of teams in this league have a quarterback problem. Some of them want to admit it. Some of them don't want to admit it. I think if you want to turn over a new leaf and if you want to build on what you had before, if you're the Saints, you got to admit it right now. Jameis Winston might have been the guy Who knows? He had some ups. He had some downs. Very Jameis Winston-like. But Taysom Hill, man, Trevor Siemian, they aren't those guys. And when we come back here, I want to go around the league a little bit here, Brian. And I want to see every single team. And I want to ask you, how many teams have that guy right now? And how many teams are maybe in quarterback denial and need to admit that they have a problem? More of that when we get back here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny and nice today. The afternoon high in the mid-70s. Clear tonight. Cool. We'll drop into the upper 40s, but another nice day tomorrow. A partly sunny Saturday. Highs around 75. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Save thousands right now with Beards' unbeatable deals.
Jeeps, Chevys, Fords, Hondas, Toyotas, and more. Toyotathon is on, including all makes and models at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Arlington's got 300 used available. Plus, you'll buy with total confidence thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange program that comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Toyotathon is on, even on used at Arlington Toyota. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com today. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full details.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-333-1750. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-333-1750. That's 800-333-1750 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-343-8638. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-343-8638. 800-343-8638. 800-343-8638.
In today's world, there's a lot of ways to know what's happening. At Action News Jax, we make sure our local stories have more detail, so you get every angle that impacts you. We dig for answers because you deserve the whole story. Taking time to provide context so you're clear on what's really going on. Because we know information is thrown at you 24/7. And we want you to know that Action News Jax is local coverage you can count on.
You've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You have to carefully monitor your health for the rest of your life. And you have an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
Cut, take 2, action.
You've been diagnosed with a new purpose, to fight for the amazing life you made for yourself. To look that risk of heart disease square in the face and say, no, not me. You've been given a new opportunity to live. Get started at NoDiabetesByHeart.org.
Life always has its challenges, but if you feel hopeless or suicidal, you don't have to face it alone. I'm Dr. Christine Caulfield, CEO of LSF Health Systems, and our free Link to Life program can help. We'll connect you with a care coordinator who will work with you to build better tomorrows. Please take suicide off the table. Contact Link to Life at 904-582-3252 or visit lsfhealthsystems.org.
Hey, it's Brett Mortno from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Flag on the play. Another interception. And this is Watkins to the end zone, but a flag is down. And it looks like it's going to stand.
Oof. Man, I'll tell you what. Now, with help of Taysom Hill. But that Cowboys defense, not too shabby. I mean, Diggs is really coming on. I mean, this guy, I think he's third right now or fourth in terms of odds to win Defensive Player of the Year. You know, Watkins playing pretty well. You have a lot of good guys right now on the Cowboys. And, you know, we always think of the offense of the Cowboys, the Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, stuff like that. But if they can get any kind of, you know, resemblance of a defense from that team, well, now you got something. And I think they're well on their way to doing that. Austin Lane, Action Sports, Jacks on ESPN 690. Joined by Brian today, phoning in for Casey. Casey, Brent Martineau, Marcel, all on the road, all in L.A. for the Jaguars-Rams game. Obviously, we'll talk about that game later on today. Jaylen Ramsey talked to the media. We'll break that down a little bit, kind of give our last predictions of how this game is going to go. Spoiler alert, probably not that well, but we'll break it down and we'll go from there. But I want to finish up real quick talking about, you know, we started with Taysom Hill and how he's not that guy, and how if you're Sean Payton, you got to admit, I mean, we'll see what happens with Jameis Winston in the future, but you might have a quarterback problem right now. And being an offensive-minded coach and having a quarterback problem, that's an issue, right? Oh, and real quick, too, Micah Parsons, calm down. I think Micah Parsons had his 10th sack last night or 11th sack, if I'm not mistaken. Could need that guy to calm down a little bit, man. Yeah. Because I see a guy like that who, you know, and we'll see with Caleb on Chase on, but I imagine, man, you put Micah Parsons next to Josh Allen?
Man.
And by the way, he wasn't supposed to be playing outside linebacker. Micah Parsons was an inside linebacker. They had injuries, and they said, hey, can you rush? Yeah, I can rush. I can run like a 4.3, but of course I can rush. It goes to show you that speed at certain positions, it can't be understated. We always get so enthralled with the 40-yard dash of a wide receiver, and then I can point to guys like DeAndre Hopkins. You know, I can point to – there's a lot of receivers that maybe are the 4.5, 4.4s, and there's some of the Devonta Adams, another classic example right there. Not the fastest receiver, but the guy might be the best route runner in the entire NFL. Meanwhile, John Ross, who broke the record with the 4.2, I'm not sure where he's at. He was in New York. Don't know what happened to him. So it goes to show you that sometimes we can't get too enthralled with speed. But if you're a linebacker or if you're an edge rusher and you're running 4.4s or a 4.3, whatever he ran, you got to take that into consideration. You got to take that burst into consideration because that's what Micah Parsons has. Is he the most refined pass rusher in terms of his skill set, in terms of his hands? No. But when you're explosive as hell, you're gonna find yourselves getting some quarterback sacks. That's what Micah Parsons is doing right now, having a hell of a year, and he's obviously probably going to be Rookie of the Year, and it's going to be a landslide from that. But getting back to, you know, do these teams have a quarterback problem? Obviously, right now, the New Orleans Saints, they got a quarterback problem. Dallas Cowboys, as long as Dak Prescott can stay healthy, you're all good. Congratulations. You got your guy, and you got your guy late. You got your guy that, you know, it was kind of you lucked into him, if you will. Tony Romo gets hurt. You get this late-round draft pick from Mississippi State and Dak Prescott, and it all works out. But let's go around the league real quick because I want to see exactly how many teams have a quarterback problem. And, Brian, feel free to play with me as well. And let's just start with the number one team that we got to talk about because this is the team that we obviously talk about, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I'm not saying I'm off the Trevor Lawrence wagon quite yet, but to preface this, last year, if you talk about Justin Herbert, all you needed was 4 or 5 games to know, okay, this is our quarterback for years and years to come. Like, Chargers fans were in the streets celebrating because they found their guy in Justin Herbert. The same thing could be said for Joe Burrow. Now, Justin Herbert was a great situation, had the talent around him, had Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, Austin Eckler. He lucked in to getting drafted into a good situation. Joe Burrow, not so much, but even through those first 4 games that he played before he got hurt, Bengals fans were ready to rejoice because they had their quarterback in Joe Burrow. I think this year, right now, the only fan base that's actually rejoicing and having their quarterback set is the New England Patriots. Once again, a very good situation, but Mac Jones has played well. He's really come into his own as a Patriot, and I think Patriot fans are ready to crown him for years and years to come. So let me ask you this, Brian. How are you feeling about Trevor Lawrence right now?
Yeah, let me put my lawyer on. I'm going to come to the defense. Brian Middleton, Esquire, for the defense of Trevor Lawrence. He absolutely, in my opinion, is the Jags QB who can lead this team to multiple double-digit winning seasons and can lead them deep into the playoffs. And I honestly, listen, based off this small sample size, it's going to sound a little weird, but I think that you guys are going to get a Super Bowl. And I say you guys because, just full disclosure, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan.
Okay.
It's just the way that it worked out, right?
Condolences to you as well.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. But here's the deal. When Jacksonville does well, everything's better, especially for the sports media. So I want Jacksonville to do well, except when they play Carolina.
Okay.
But I truly believe, I see the way that he handles himself. And so I'm looking for more of a layman's term because, or perspective because I didn't play in the league like you. So you see things that the regular person doesn't, even people that played in college, as opposed to someone like yourself who knows all the ins and outs, even if you didn't play that position. So when, if you see something about Trevor Lawrence, I'm going to take more weight about it. But everything that I've seen about him from the way that he is actually on the field for the most of the season, when it looked like at the very least he was steadily improving or plateauing, but not really like falling back or taking steps back, to even the way that he handles himself in the post-game interviews. I just like the way that his makeup is. I like the way that he's built. I think Jacksonville got it right. Now, is Urban Meyer going to be with him along on this journey? I don't know. I don't know how that works out, but I do believe that Trevor Lawrence is the QB for Jacksonville, and I think that it's going to be a lot of success 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road.
Brian Esquire, the prosecution rests. No, here's the thing, man. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. I am still on the Trevor train. I'm not getting off anytime soon. I still think he's going to be the guy here in Jacksonville. Where I get a little leery about and what I get a little reserved about is he in the environment to succeed, right? Like Jacksonville, they don't have a quarterback problem right now, but Jacksonville has a quarterback grooming problem, let's just say. Because the talent around him, it's probably lacking. I think we may have gave this receiving core way too much credit in the preseason. I thought they were going to be great. I think they're one of the worst right now in the NFL. I think the numbers would show that. I think the drops and the penalties would show that. I think we gave a lot of credit to this offensive line, at least some people did. And the offensive line, I think they're middle of the pack, if you want to say. But once again, the penalties have absolutely crushed them. James Robinson, in terms of having the complementary football aspect of running and passing, he's there. Like, I'm not complaining about that whatsoever. When James Robinson gets the ball, when they want to give James Robinson the ball, good things happen. So I'm not upset about that. I think some of the play calling and stuff like that, you can kind of critique a little bit. And maybe, the head coach right now in terms of how everything's going, you can critique that as well. So, no, I'm not ready to call Trevor Lawrence a bust, not even close. I'm still riding with Trevor Lawrence. My worry comes in is if he has an environment to succeed. Because I always go back to J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson walking off the field for the last time as Houston Texans. And J.J. Watt turns to Deshaun Watson and he says, man, I'm sorry that we wasted your season. I'm sorry that we wasted your year here. And then you know what happened after that. Now it's forgotten about. But that's kind of how I feel about Trevor Lawrence right now. Like, yeah, we've seen some good, and we got Dan Orlovsky, absolutely infatuated, it seems like, every single week with Trevor Lawrence, breaking down why, he's the next reincarnation of Peyton Manning, it seems like. I'm not ready to crown him that quite yet, but we have seen some good things. I hope the environment is conducive to him where we can keep on growing and maturing on the field. Because off the field, like you mentioned, press conferences, fantastic. In the community, great. He's well beyond his years as a professional of all the intangibles and stuff outside of the field, off the field, in front of the camera. What we still don't know yet, though, is how is he on the field? And, we'd be naive to say, I don't feel as confident right now as Chargers fans felt last year with Justin Herbert. I don't feel as confident right now as Bengals fans felt last year with Joe Burrow. I don't feel as confident right now as Patriots fans feel at this moment with Mac Jones. I just don't. I hope it works out. I'm still on the train. But, if you look at the numbers, If you look at the film, okay, pretty good. But there's some So we'll have to wait and see. So, no, Jacksonville does not have a quarterback problem, but they might have a quarterback developing problem depending how this thing goes forward. Obviously, Patriots, we mentioned Mac Jones, they're all good. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills, they're all good. Let me ask you this one, Brian. Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins. 5-7 right now, could be making a run in the playoffs if they win some more games. Do you think Miami's got a quarterback problem?
They got a problem if they want someone who's going to take them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Tua, he's fine. He's fine. Like, I felt the same way about him at Alabama. I didn't get the hype. Like, he kept winning, so you can't knock it. But I was just like, But I think that Miami, if they're talking about whether or not they're going to get a quarterback that can get them into the playoffs, sure, Tua will be that, I guess, eventually. But I don't see a dominance there if Tua's at the helm. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it since his days in Alabama. It never popped off the screen like some of the other prospects we're talking about, even with Justin Herbert, or you're talking about Trevor Lawrence, or some of the prospects that came in before then, where you're just like, oh man, that guy right there,
yeah,
he's it. You got to get him. If you miss him, you're going to kick yourself years down the line. So I'm kind of on the fence, I guess, with that answer. So ultimately, I'm saying no because you want to win the Super Bowl.
Yep, and that's the biggest thing. And you hit it right on the head right there. Can Tua bring you to a Super Bowl? I can't foresee it. So, no. If you can't do that, then you got a quarterback problem. I think Zach Wilson, okay, this is the last time I'm going to spend some time on those, kind of rapid fire through these. I think with Zach Wilson, it's not fair to say if you have a quarterback problem quite yet just because he's been hurt, so you don't really know what he's bringing to the table. What we've seen, you feel a lot better than Trevor Lawrence you do about Zach Wilson right now. His mom's all over TikTok causing chaos, but at the end of the day, you haven't seen enough of Zach Wilson to know if you have a quarterback problem or not, so I'm going to give the Jets right now the benefit of the doubt. Your thoughts, Brian?
If he stays with the Jets, then no. It's a quarterback problem. It's a health problem for him if he stays with the Jets.
For sure. Lamar Jackson, fine. Joe Burrow, fine. Pittsburgh Steelers, you better believe it. And I think I speak for both of us here. Brian, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got a quarterback problem.
Absolutely.
Because Ben Roethlisberger, Father Time's undefeated, man. And I thought you had it this year. You're still in playoff contention. I get all of that, but Ben Roethlisberger is a shell of himself, and it's unfortunate because you got the sense that he wanted to come back for one more year, try to will his team to a Super Bowl, and it's just not going to happen. Baker Mayfield, I think the Browns might have a quarterback problem.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put Baker Mayfield in that category just because he's not elevating that team. When you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, who, when they're healthy, are probably the best dynamic running backs in the NFL, it makes your life a lot easier. But in terms of the passing game, I just haven't seen that. Ryan Tannehill, Tennessee Titans. I think they're okay right now. I'm not going to say it's a problem, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. I just think with Ryan Tannehill, we've seen some good. We've seen some real good. When Derrick Henry goes out, we've seen some real bad. I'm not ready to sell Ryan Tannehill out quite yet after a couple bad performances, but he's on the fringe for me. Brian?
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill, I think that if they get to a Super Bowl, he's going to act more like a Trent Dilfer when Baltimore went and won that Super Bowl.
Yep. That's a fair assessment. Houston Texans, Davis Mills, sorry, man, you're not that guy. Tyrod Taylor, we know what you are. Houston's definitely got a quarterback problem, and especially with Deshaun Watson still wanting out, another distraction, if you will. So, Houston, quarterback problem. Kansas City Chiefs, all good. Los Angeles Chargers, all good. Derek Carr, Las Vegas Raiders. Quarterback problem or not?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No.
I like him. I think he has what it takes. I think that there may be like one or two pieces away, but as far as quarterback, he can get you there.
Okay.
Agree?
See, Derek Carr is such an anomaly to me. He's such an enigma because just when I want to hate on him and say, yeah, this guy's not going to do it, he has a season like he did last year. I'm like, look at his numbers last year. He wasn't the issue in Las Vegas. And now you have the whole John Gruden situation. You have a lot of drama right now going on with the Raiders. And he's kind of keeping this team above water. They're 6-5. They're right off, they're in AFC West contention of winning the division. It's hard to write off Derek Carr right now. It really is. Last one in the AFC, then we'll go to the NFC. We'll come back after the break. How you feeling about Teddy Bridgewater? How you feeling about Drew Lock? Quarterback problem?
With Drew Lock, yeah, of course, right?
Okay.
But listen, man, Teddy Bridgewater, I've called this plenty of times over the years. He's the Tom Brady of quarterback. I'll explain more later, but he is.
Okay. Well, yeah, forget a tease, come back in the break. You just called Teddy Bridgewater the Tom Brady of quarterbacks. I want an explanation, Brian Esquire. We'll get back here on ESPN 690.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
Did anyone watch football last year and think, you know what, I think there's just too much taunting going on? These guys seem to be too excited when they make big plays, and every now and again, it seems to be in the face of their opponent. This does not have any impact on the competition of the game until you choose to make it so. And what I'm suggesting is don't choose that. Don't choose that.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And watch exclusively on ESPN+.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hey, yeah, how's it going?
Word of mouth has Dante's dental clinic thriving.
17 new patients? Nice. Is this next month's calendar?
But he needs another dentist to give his schedule a good cleaning.
This is this week? You're kidding. Oh, you're not.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Now is the time to get an estimate on replacement windows. American Window Products of Jacksonville is a high-volume dealer offering a huge selection of products to keep your costs low. New windows from American Window Products can lower your energy costs and increase your curb appeal and security, all without breaking the bank. Call American Window Products for a free estimate at 904-667-0873 or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
Mr. and Mrs. Flavor, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. I'm Barry, the flavor of berry.
I'm Janet. I'm bitter.
And I understand your son is the flavor menthol?
Yes, he's the menthol in a menthol cigarette.
He's such a disappointment. Out there getting people addicted, being used by big tobacco to target black people. He could have been a lozenge.
Menthol cigarettes are harder to quit than regular cigarettes. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Can health insurance redefine customer service? With agents who truly know Florida, it can. Our exclusive Florida Blue agents know your area, the doctors in it, and the plan that's right for you. They'll even make sure you get the most from your plan, helping you earn hundreds of dollars in rewards. What else can health insurance do? Find out at floridablue.com. Florida Blue, your local Blue Cross Blue Shield. Rewards available for individual ACA members 18 years or older and subject to the reward program's terms and conditions. Florida Blue is a trade name of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida, Inc.
You're invited to shop at the White Harvest Farms and Farmers Market every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a market of fresh and affordable farm-to-table produce that comes from a 10.5-acre urban located at 4850 Moncrief Road. There's volunteering, classes, and farming demonstrations. Also, if you're interested in becoming a vendor or volunteer, call 904-354-4162 or visit the White Harvest Farms Eventbrite page. White Harvest Farms wants to be your favorite produce market. This initiative benefits the Clara White mission.
Do you consistently outperform your peers? Do you enjoy setting challenging goals and then exceeding them? And do you want a job where you can determine the size of your paycheck? If so, you could be suited for a career in advertising with Cox Media Group. Because we're searching for self-motivated professionals to join the advertising sales team in our North Florida office. This media consultant position requires an outgoing, confident, and driven person who'll seek out business owners in North Florida and help grow their businesses with innovative marketing solutions. The ideal candidate will have a basic knowledge of both traditional and digital advertising. Cox Media Group Jacksonville offers a team environment based on excellence and customer-focused selling with unlimited earning potential, the best benefits in the industry, ongoing training, and advancement opportunities in markets nationwide. To apply for the media consultant position, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com. Or call 245-8732, 245-8732.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Join ESPN 690 on March 5th for the Gate River Run. Registration for the 15K, 5K for charity, Junior River Run, and the Brooks Rehabilitation Mile Challenge is now open at GateRiverRun.com. Training information is available on the website. See you at the starting line.
Yeah, I think he's been a quick learner for us. Again, there's just so much to learn, but I think he's done a nice job of progressing. There was a lull in there as a whole, really. None of this can ever be just put on him, right? It's really all of us, and everybody has to work together. We've talked about that a bunch in here.
Jags offensive coordinator, Darrell Bevell. Everyone's got to work together. Yep. Got to hold people accountable for dropping footballs. Yep. Can't be getting so many foolish penalties. Yep. So it does take everybody. Essentially, it falls on the head coach and the quarterback. That's what you sign up for. But it does take everybody. And, we'll break this down here in a little while in terms of taking everybody to go to the West Coast and try to beat the Los Angeles Rams. And they will be without, I think Shaq Griffin was announced today, will not be making the trip. I believe, concussion protocol for Shaq Griffin. So missing your best cover corner is going to make things that much more difficult with, this Rams offense who, has been good. They've echoed their coach and what he brings to the table in Sean McVay. I don't think they've been necessarily, the game records that we saw a couple years ago, but they could be on their way, right? Odell Beckham Jr. getting acquainted with the offense a little more. Darrell Henderson Jr. Starting to come on a little bit more after losing Cam Akers for the season, the preseason actually. They're starting running back from Florida State. So, and Cooper Kupp, right now one of the best wide receivers in the entire NFL. And they have a tight end in Tyler Higbee, who I think is a little underrated, who could give the Jaguars some problems too on defense. So, Joe Cullen and this defense, I think, are going to have their hands full, especially traveling to the West Coast. But speaking of the Rams and speaking of the NFC, well, real quick, though, before we break down the NFC of how many quarterbacks you should be worried about in the NFC right now, if you have a quarterback problem or not, before we went to break, Brian just told me that Teddy Bridgewater is the Tom Brady of quarterbacks. Did I get that right?
That is accurate, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. By all means, the floor is yours.
Yeah, well, so listen, man, just because results differ doesn't mean that people can't be in the same class, right? We get that. Because who is actually going to have 6, 7, 8, 9, 15 Super Bowl wins by the time Brady is done? Nobody. Nobody that we can think of. But Teddy Bridgewater never gets you beat. And that's one of the intangible things, right? And it isn't because he's scared to throw the ball down the field. Mm-hmm. It isn't because he shrinks in the big moments. He has something like, I just looked this up a couple of weeks ago, like 7 or 8 game-winning or comeback wins in like the last 3 or 4 seasons. Like, even when he was hurt, he was still performing. I mean, he won in Minnesota. He won for his short stint in New Orleans. Now, he didn't win in Carolina, but trust me, none of that was his fault. Just trust me.
Okay.
And now he's in Denver, and Denver's trying to figure this out, and he is an integral part to them actually being, I believe, above 500 right now. Teddy Bridgewater, I see the same I won't get you beat, but I can be a stone cold killer in the fourth quarter, and I can just pick you apart. Then I see in Tom Brady. Now, listen, again, so the expertise that you have, you probably think that I'm foolish, and that's fine. No, that's cool, but that's what I see, and I'm going to stand on it.
No, hey, listen, I respect the enthusiasm. I respect the passion. You make a lot of great points. You said it yourself. You're a Panthers fan, and I'll take you at your word if it wasn't Teddy Bridgewater. And it really wasn't. I'll be honest. I thought they ran Teddy Bridgewater a little bit too much in Carolina. All of a sudden, Teddy Bridgewater's got some wheels on him, which I didn't foresee happening, but he ran a lot in Carolina. And he kind of had a little swag to him when he was doing it. I will say this about Teddy Bridgewater. If you follow his career, the trajectory of Teddy Bridgewater, it was perfect in Minnesota. He has an unforeseen incident. He hurts that, he tears basically everything in his leg in a routine play in practice, and then it all goes downhill from there, right? And then all of a sudden now, you're on the back burner, and you got to try to get your way up to the front again. When he was in New Orleans, you learned from a great one in Drew Brees. When you came in, I think you went either 5-0 or 6-0. And you had a great team around you, but you still won those games. I think Teddy Bridgewater played here, if I'm not mistaken, when he's played for the Saints. He did well. So I'm not taking anything away from Teddy Bridgewater. And if I look at the Broncos right now, you're 6-5 in the AFC West. You're one game outside of first place in the AFC West. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to hate on Teddy Bridgewater. It really is, especially with what that team has. Now, that team is built on offense. They have the receivers. They have the running game. Offensive line got upgraded from last year. So, it is a quarterback-friendly environment. But if I'm a Broncos fan right now, it's not like I'm sitting here saying, we're 6-5, but we need a quarterback. No, you're 6-5. I'm not sure what the over-under of wins, in the preseason were for you guys in terms of Vegas, but I got to think you're getting close to going in the over. And that's a lot has to do with Teddy Bridgewater. I wasn't a big proponent of Vic Fangio as a head coach. He may have saved his job now. So, I think overall, does Denver have a quarterback problem? No. Do they have a quarterback solution? I don't know about that either. But I'm not going to say Teddy Bridgewater's the issue right now in Denver. So, I agree with you. No, the Tom Brady quarterback's aggressive, Brian, but I agree with you. I think they're okay right now in Denver. Dallas Cowboys, we talked to them before in the NFC, don't have a problem with Dak Prescott. Taylor Heineke, Washington. Quarterback problem in Washington? I'll say right now, because I'm making a check mark, I'm kind of keeping receipts. I'm putting it down for a quarterback problem, but I want to hear what you have to say about it.
I think I'm just falling in love with the whole story and everything, because undrafted and I forgot the school he went to. No.
Don't fall in love with the story. I'm telling you, the story's not everything, though.
But I feel like if I got to do all that, then yes, there's a quarterback problem. I just realized if I got to do all that to try to get.
By the way, college was Old Dominion. By the way.
Yeah, Old Dominion.
Old Dominion, which
It's a great story, though, isn't it?
I thought that was a country band. Didn't know that was even a university. So shout out to Taylor Heineke for making that work. No, listen, it's a great story. Guy plays with grit, toughness. I'm not taking anything away from Taylor Heineke as a player, as a person, none of that. But I'm just saying going forward, if the Washington football team, they're not concerned about, hey, where do we go next in the quarterback direction, then you might have bigger issues. So, they're competing for a playoff spot. They're competing for not really a division because Dallas is kind of running away with it, but they're competing for a playoff spot. But I just think going forward, Taylor Heineke is not going to be that guy. Jalen Hurts. I can't go against my boy Jalen Hurts after I said he's going to be a fantasy darling this year. So I have strapped myself to the Jalen Hurts rocket. Whether we go up to the moon, I'm hanging out with Elon Musk, or whether I go back down below sea level because the rocket bursts, I don't know. But I'm all in on Jalen Hurts. So I can't say he's a quarterback problem.
Yeah. You called that then because he's on my fantasy squad.
Oh, there you go.
More weeks than not.
There you go.
I've been like, wow, I got him and Kyler, and I've been starting him more than, Kyler's been out. But, I didn't see that one coming. He's I think ranked number 1 or 2 for points in fantasy. So, you called that one.
Preach.
I think as long as the system is set for him, I think he has the ability to get them, probably to a Super Bowl. all the cards are going to fall right at least one season. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we're on the same page. Hey, do you want to know who I called last year, by the way, who was my fantasy darling last year?
Who's that?
Kyler Murray. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
You should go play the lottery.
You better believe it. I should just go to ESPN Fantasy Football and we'll start working there. New York Giants, yeah, Daniel Jones, you're a problem. Sorry. And I'm sure Brent's going to call in later and complain about it. But, yeah, Daniel Jones, you are not that guy. Okay? Not that guy. I don't care if Saquon Barkley keeps on getting hurt. I understand that's an issue. But Daniel Jones, not that guy. Now, if you want to play running back, so be it. Real quick, Green Bay Packers, yeah, you still got one in Aaron Rodgers. Might have a problem in the next year or so, but right now they're okay. Kirk Cousins, it's not a problem, but I'm not pumped up about it. Justin Fields, you know what it is there. I think Jared Goff is a problem with the Detroit Lions. Tampa Bay, you're okay. Matt Ryan, yep, you're an issue. Carolina Panthers, yeah, they have a quarterback issue right now. I think you'd agree with that, Brian, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. New Orleans Saints, we talked about them. They have an issue. Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Town, you're good. Matthew Stafford, Rams, good. Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, that combination is good. And then the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson playing with an injury. We'll see in the future, though. Does he want to stay in Seattle, trying to go someplace else? Maybe goes to Cleveland. Maybe goes to New York with Sierra. Stay tuned to that one. But right now, the Seattle Seahawks, they have a lot of problems, but it ain't the quarterback position. So at the end of the day, what did we establish out of this exercise? There are 10 teams right now in the NFL that have a quarterback problem. The question is, can they admit it? Can they get better? Or are they going to stick with more of just the same and not admit it and see what happens next season? More on ESPN 690 when we get back.
You don't have to visit Buffalo to get fresh, delicious, mouth-watering wings made to order. Just go to the Extreme Wings nearest you. Extreme Wings is where the locals have been going for the freshest, never-frozen, world-famous hot wings since 1999. Dozens of flavors to choose from. Full liquor bar, happy hour specials, state-of-the-art TVs on every wall. After the game, after work, for lunch, for dinner. Make it extreme. Check out their award-winning Pit Road wings. Oh, they're so good. They are grilled to perfection with extremely secret seasoning. Looking for a family-friendly sports restaurant that can accommodate large parties? Well, look no further. You can take the entire team to Extreme Wings after the game, where all kids' meals are just $6.99. Come celebrate the grand opening of Extreme Wings' newest location. That's Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax. Extreme burgers, salads, wraps, and of course, world-famous Extreme Wings. Do what the locals do and make it extreme. Extreme Wings' newest location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, or visit a location near you.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
Hey, Bruiser, you ready to do the old holiday shopping routine?
Yeah, I got all the houses picked out.
Alrighty.
Hey, I almost feel sorry for these folks.
Oh, don't go soft on me now. That's why they pay insurance.
Okay, so you promise those kids will just lose their bikes for a little while?
Yeah, I promise. Whatever.
All right, then let's sing our favorite holiday song.
Yeah. We're making our list, checking it twice.
Looking for houses with things that are nice. Bruiser and Browser are coming to town. We're filling our truck, we won't leave much.
Avoiding those houses at God's safe touch.
Bruiser and Browser are coming to town.
Crime does increase during the holidays. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, owner of Safe Touch Security Systems. Our new Safe Touch two-way communicator saves lives and prevents property loss every day. Our average response time is an incredible 14 seconds. Nobody can match our servers or our price. You have my guarantee on it.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information information by dialing 800-343-8638. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-343-8638. 800-343-8638. 800-343-8638.
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. Call Cordell & Cordell. You're not alone.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Jacksonville area attorneys. Offices in Jacksonville and by appointment only in Ponte Vedra Beach. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
This is Claudia's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
I had just moved to a new city and barely even knew where the grocery store was yet. When my car wouldn't start one morning, I didn't know who to ask about local shops. But I remembered a name from back home, O'Reilly Auto Parts. I called and they pointed me to a great mechanic just down the street. Now I feel a little more at home.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Welcome back here. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Austin Lane. We got Brian filling in for Casey. I'll tell you what, Brian. I mean, we still have a ways to go. But in terms of the first hour, very impressed.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean, if this is Hard Knocks right now, we're talking about, cuts and everything. Hey, guess what?
I made it.
Don't need to see your playbook quite yet.
That's what I'm talking about.
Go and put that playbook back in your locker. Go over it a little more at your own pace, and I'll get back to you. We'll see you for preseason games number 2 and 3.
I like
because you're
that.
okay.
I appreciate that.
Well done the first hour. And speaking of Casey, actually, I guess, Casey in L.A., Brent Martineau in L.A., Action Sports Jacks, Marcel Robinson in L.A., covering the Jaguars game, maybe doing a little scouting for the Super Bowl coming up there in L.A. as well. But I think we got Casey on the horn right now. I think Casey called in, maybe with some kind of funny story or an interesting story. Casey, man, how is the best coast treating you?
Austin Lane, first of all, the reason that Brian is so good is because of how good the coaching was. All right, I taught him well.
I like that.
First off.
It's that Casey Kurtz coaching tree. I like that, man.
You know what I'm saying? I got to start somewhere since we're all on the Brent Martineau tree.
Yes.
But here's the funny thing. Brent Martineau, as far as I know, is in L.A. You can find the boy still at the Houston Bush Intercontinental Airport since about 8 a.m. Okay, it is a disaster.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what's happening. So
Okay.
It's 3 o'clock here Central Time, 4 o'clock where you are, the 4 o'clock hour, obviously.
Okay.
12 hours ago, I woke up, 3 in the morning, drove to the airport, got on a plane, flew to the Houston airport to, connection.
Sure.
Had to connect to get over to California. Casual, get on the plane, sitting there, talking to the people in my row, having a good time, promoing the show and all of those things. The next thing you know.
I mean, it's early, but I love the hustle.
Yeah, look, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
People are asking why you wearing a Jags hoodie, and I'm like, look, it's not for fun. I'll tell you that. I'm promoting the brand. Okay?
I love the hustle.
And so we're sitting there. We start backing out. We're doing the thing, and a pilot says, "We're getting some weird readings about the engine. We're gonna have to go back to the gate." I said, "Okay. I've been on this. I've been through this before." So he said, "Y'all gonna have to get off the plane." So we get off the plane. Casual. If I was gonna be a quick thing. 2 hours later, they're like, "All right. This plane is broken. We're going to have to get a new plane." Okay. So at this point, I'm a little hot, right? So we wait a couple more hours. Phone, by the way, in shambles. There's not a plug in this airport if you need to charge your phone. So bring a charger if you're coming to this airport. Anyway, second plane shows up. They get everybody wrangled up. They get us on the plane. Austin Lane, when I tell you that there was a hydraulics issue, and we had to get off the plane. I've been on 3 planes. Yeah. Only one of them flew anywhere.
Yeah.
One of them taxied and came back, and then one didn't even move. So that's my situation. If you're listening on the road right now and you're in the Houston airport, I'm at E10. You can come see me. I'll be sitting here for about 6 more hours as I finally have another flight. We've got rid of the plane debacle. We're going on a whole different flight, a whole different situation. Not doing it till 8 p.m. So I'm going to be here a while. Don't know if I'll ever see Brent Martineau again, but I can confirm Brent Martineau is there having the time of his life. He's told me multiple times. But I sit at E10 in the Houston airport.
Wait, so let me get this straight. So you, Brent, and Marcel flew out on different flights to LA.
Yeah.
So
that's been a popular question.
Yeah, I mean that's
been given me.
That's the first one I had to go with here.
Yeah, well, very good question. Here's how I'll answer it, and I just said this to Brent. He said, "Why didn't you fly with us on our flight?" And I said, "Well, Brent, that was $130 more than the one I booked." I said, "We don't all have a backyard fireplace."
Sure, okay?
No. So unless you're paid for my flight or handing out checks, I'm going to have to go with the cheaper option.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's that part of the story.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's been a day of shit. No food yet, by the way. Don't like to eat before flights. Still haven't eaten. Again, We're going on 12 hours.
Yeah.
It is just my life is shambles right now. But I just wanted to come in and support the show. But
yeah, no, hey, we appreciate it, man. And I mean, condolences, because that sounds like a horrible situation. I mean, 2 pressing questions here have to be, number one, is there going to be some kind of reimbursement? Like, is the airline going to give you some kind of voucher for future travel when maybe we go back to LA for the Super Bowl? How's that working right now?
Okay, so that's another good question. I kind of pressed my luck for this next flight. I said, look, here's, they knew the situation.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, I'm going to give you a seat. Very nice lady, by the way. Her name was Lori.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, this is kind of screwed up. I'm going to give you the exact seat that you had, which I bought it because, I'm big, you know what I'm saying? So I got the more legroom seat.
Got you.
Yeah. So I bought that, and she's like, okay, well, I'll give you that exact same seat, whatever, on this flight. I was like, okay, cool. So I pressed my luck. I said, hey, what about those first-class seats?
Yeah.
So your boy's in 1A, all right, on the flight.
You fly first class?
Oh, you better believe it.
Okay.
He's 1A.
Okay. So now it's more of a feel-good. It's still a little feel-good story. Still, you're going to get in there like super late, so that kind of sucks. Question number 2.
I'm gonna miss the Lakers game, by the way.
Well, and this was the question then. Question number 2. Is any part of you thinking about saying forget LA and flying back to Jacksonville and counting your losses?
I was thinking that until they gave me free first class.
Okay.
Free in a relative term, if you will.
Yeah.
Because look, I'm not a first class guy. They're gonna look at me funny when I try to get in seat 1A, but I'm gonna show them the boarding pass and we're gonna go. But yeah, I told Brent, I said there's gonna be an empty seat with you guys at the Lakers game, so I'm hoping I don't have to pay him back for the ticket. I don't know how much it was yet, but again, backyard fireplace. I'm kind of scared about that. So hopefully I don't have to pay him back. But yeah, so there is a good. And by the way, this flight's about to be 3.5 hours, so I'm going to take up every possible ounce of the first class. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and Casey, and here's the last thing and here's maybe a silver lining, because you have to understand, the powers that be right now. You find yourself in a very crappy situation. I feel horrible for you. I mean, because, man, it's, you can miss the Lakers. Like, there's a lot of things that were put in place to have fun, and you get to miss out on some of those because of an airline, quote unquote, a malfunction, or whatever the case may be. But if there's any silver lining of this, and I'm going to need an update. Well, don't update on. I don't know how you're going to update me. Maybe email me, because I don't have my phone right now, so I can't go on Twitter. I can't go on Facebook, all this. But keep in mind what we're talking about here. You're flying out of Houston, going to L.A., and you're sitting first class. Houston's a big airport. Houston has a lot of people come and go. You might be sitting next to a celebrity. You could be sitting next to a Kardashian or a Kendall Jenner or somebody. So, hey, let's hope for the best here. But I like your chances of sitting next to a celebrity from a flight going from Houston to L.A.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm probably going to have to take off the Jags hoodie, though, if I'm sitting next to Kendall Jenner, because she, that's just a bad start. You know what I'm saying?
Take off the Jags hoodie. Hopefully you have your icebreakers ready to go and everything. But, yeah, by all means, take off that Jaguars hoodie. Yeah, please.
Oh, yeah. Got a pack of gum ready to go. This could be the greatest moment of my life, or I could be sitting next to 74-year-old Bob. But either way, we'll probably have a great conversation, because I have a lot to say at this point. Yeah. He's not going to listen, might fall asleep. But anyway, that's the situation. Glad to hear the show's going good on your end. And, so that's what I'm doing.
All right, man. Well, appreciate you calling in. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. That sounds horrible. Like, I'm telling you, hopefully the universe can balance things out, and hopefully you sit next to somebody cool on your way to L.A. You know, like you said, it's a 3-hour plane ride, so get your conversation game ready, and hopefully it's somebody cool.
Hoping for a miracle, Austin.
All right, sounds good, man. And by the way, feel free to text me or don't text me. Maybe talk to Brian about sending us your picks as well, because we got picks going on at 5. So you're going to have plenty of time to ponder those over as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely we'll get the picks in. Don't you worry about that. I'm the leader, and I'm going to stay in the lead.
I like your style. Casey, as always, stay casual, stay cool, stay calm, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Yes, sir. Talk to you on Monday.
All right, man. Wow. What a disaster.
There's a lot happening right there.
A lot happening right there. I understand. We have Brent on the line, too, or not yet? Because I saw you on the phone, Brian, so I know Brent called in as well when Casey was talking.
Yeah, Brent was just checking in.
Okay.
Just checking in.
Do we have Brent on right now as well?
We do not.
Okay.
But he will be back.
Okay, no problem. Here's what I thought happened. When Casey was calling, frustrated as he should be, I thought it was the fact that 2 people could go and 1 person had to stay behind. So I thought Casey went with Brent and Marcel, and they made him stay behind, and he was a scapegoat. Because if that was the case, then, man, we may have some team chemistry issues on Monday. But thankfully, that wasn't the case. Casey took a different flight. I don't blame him. Save that money, man, an extra $100 or so. I'm not mad at that whatsoever. It's unfortunate that he's missing the Lakers game. But, hey, LeBron James ain't even playing. I think Kawhi Leonard's out as well. Who knows who's playing tonight? It's the NBA. It's kind of hard to tell. But, yeah, he'll be missing out on that. Hopefully the universe will reward him with a pretty cool person to sit next to on that play. I mean, I'm just saying, man, it's like I would say Atlanta to L.A. probably sit next to a famous person. But Houston to L.A., I think odds are good.
Yeah.
I mean, sitting the first seat? The first one? I mean, come on, man. It might be Kendall Jenner. I don't know why Kendall Jenner is on my brain right now, but it might be Kendall Jenner.
Here's the deal. Famous to a point, right? Because if they're really famous, they probably got their own personal charter jet.
That's a good point.
But
it's a good point, Brian.
You can get to a
off.
certain level of celebrity.
Yeah.
On a regular commuter jet in first class.
Yeah. Now, what I should have asked him was the airline that he's flying, because it sounds like he might be flying one of the less expensive ones. And if that's the case, and he's flying one of the less expensive ones, well, then maybe there's not even really a first class.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you got a little more legroom.
It's all economy.
I mean, I should have asked, it's all economy. I should have asked him maybe, are there TVs on this plane? Because if not, then it's not first class. Okay? Then it's not you might get an extra cookie. You might get an extra bag of peanuts. But at the end of the day, that's about it. So best of luck to Casey. I can't wait to hear how the rest of the flight goes. I can't wait for Brent to call back in and kind of get his whole synopsis of the situation. But as it is, the show has got to go on. We got a job to do. We got to keep the show back on the road. Went off the rails a little bit, but I'm glad Casey's doing okay as well as he can do. But let's get into the Jaguars real quick, and let's get into this Rams game coming up. Now, I was very surprised on the Jaylen Ramsey comments. The media interviews Jaylen Ramsey, and it's funny because we talk about the Jaguars playing the Los Angeles Rams, but it's more about the Jaguars, it seems like, playing Jaylen Ramsey more than anything, right? And that's the power that maybe he had here. That's how so many people are annoyed with Jaylen Ramsey. If you go back to the press conference where he talked about, playing for the Jaguars, nothing really bad to say about it, which I was kind of surprised. I thought he maybe would have threw a little jab here, a little jab there. Didn't really seem to do that. Just said, he's thankful for his time there and, he appreciates it. And I thought it was a great answer. I guess at the end of the day, and this will be the last day, hopefully we talk about Jaylen Ramsey in this capacity for the rest of the football season. Now if they go to the Super Bowl, who knows? But I'm going to say this about Jaylen Ramsey, and I might rub some of the 690 syndicate and some Jaguars fans the wrong way, but hey, man, sometimes you got to keep it real. I don't get all the animosity and all the frustration towards Jaylen Ramsey. Now, do I make fun of him sometimes? Yes. Do we poke fun at him sometimes? Well, yeah. The guy's got a personality to do that. right? Just go on Twitter, look what he tweets, look how he plays. I mean, yes, sometimes the guy asks for some things. And you know, in a joking manner, I think that's okay. But, you know, if you go around social media, if you talk to some people in this fan base, like they're hurt by him and they're frustrated by him. And it seems like Jaylen Ramsey is living rent-free in a lot of Jaguars fans' heads. Now, this could be for a couple of reasons. Now, keep in mind where I'm coming from this whole thing. This is coming from the guy who actually thought that he had a back injury, right? And then it turns out he faked it. He was trying to get out of town, and I was left looking like a fool. So I'll be the first man to admit that I was wrong in terms of I thought he was actually hurt. I was wrong. I was way off. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I shouldn't have. And, yeah, he made me look like a fool. But I was never upset with Jaylen Ramsey for doing that because there comes a time in the game of professional sports, especially football, where it can mirror real life. And there's some times where it can't mirror real life. Classic example would be Antonio Brown. Fake vaccination card, gets busted, gets 3 games, still has a job. If you do that with your employer, if you do that in the airplane and then you get caught doing that, you might be looking at some jail time. You at least got to go to a courtroom, wear a nice tie, and get in front of a judge, I would assume. So, it's not the same. But this, to me, this Jaylen Ramsey saga, if you will, this can mirror a little bit of real life. You had a situation with Jaylen Ramsey where this guy could have been a once-in-a-generational player here for the Jaguars. He was for a while when he was here. And whether it was the culture, Tom Coughlin, Doug Marrone, a combination of it, the defensive calls with whatever the case may be, he didn't want to be here anymore. He didn't enjoy coming to work. So you got the sense that he was disgruntled. He tried to get out, and what happened? Couldn't get out, right? Was kind of stuck here. And then all of a sudden, the whole back injury thing comes around. Then all of a sudden, the distractions start being apparent. And now he essentially got his way. I think if anybody that's working a 9-to-5 job that's listening to this show right now, if you had an opportunity to better yourself, to better your work environment, to maybe better your family situation, you would do that. You would do that in a heartbeat. You would fake a back injury. You would fake a neck injury. You would do what you had to do if you weren't happy with where you're at, if you had the power to do that. The difference with Jaylen Ramsey and a lot of guys from that year is that he had the power to do that. A lot of guys I'm sure wanted out as well, but guess what? You aren't an all-pro. You're not a Pro Bowler. So what you say doesn't really matter. Like if Andrew Wingard, comes out and says, I don't want to be here anymore, what's the Jaguars brass going to do? Okay. That's not how it works. You're not getting traded. So go ahead and go back to your locker, put that jersey on, and we'll see you out there. But with Jaylen Ramsey, it was different because he had the power to do whatever he wanted. And I think it rubs Jaguars fans the wrong way because he essentially got what he wanted, right? Let's be honest. Jaylen Ramsey got what he wanted. He's on a team right now that's competing for the playoffs and maybe competing for a Super Bowl. That's a lot more than what's going on right now. You can call him a quitter. You can call him a bad teammate. I'll tell you what, none of those guys in that Rams locker room care about that. They're not using that type of language. I'm sure they're all happy that he's there right now. So what it comes down to more, I think, is just Jaguars fans being bitter because Jaylen Ramsey got what he wanted, and we're stuck, splitting the bill. We were stuck with C.J. Henderson and Caleb Chason. And how has that worked out in replacing Jaylen Ramsey? C.J. Henderson's gone, and you got Dan Arnold for him. Okay, we'll see. And Caleb Chason we'll see as well, right? But it's not Jaylen Ramsey. So every time you see a Ramsey interception, him in front of the media, whatever the case may be, it's a reminder of how bad it was here in Jacksonville and how you lost him. So to me, being mad at Jaylen Ramsey, how he handled himself in press conferences, he followed the rules. If you don't like what he has to say, then so be it. But it wasn't like Jaylen Ramsey was out getting arrested. Jaylen Ramsey wasn't out beating up people. That was never the case. I don't know who Jaylen Ramsey even is. I worked out with the guy a couple of times, and that's it. I don't know what kind of guy he is, but I don't think he's a bad guy. Like, yeah, maybe he disagreed with some media members, and the media members got all ticked off at him. Guess what? This is the NFL. It takes all types of personalities. I love Marshawn Lynch. I know some Seattle media who didn't love Marshawn Lynch. That's their issue. Just like that's the media's issue here. If you don't like Jaylen Ramsey because he snubbed you in an interview or something like that, well, then so be it. But if you're a fan, what do you hate on him for? Because the guy got what he wanted? Because he played it so close to the chest and got exactly what he was trying to do? I mean, I'm not saying you got to celebrate Jaylen Ramsey, but I'll be honest, I'll tip my hat to Jaylen Ramsey because I look at a guy like Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell kind of set a precedent saying, I'm not going to play for you anymore. I want more money. I want something else. What happened with Le'Veon Bell? Goes to New York and his career just blows up. It was a mess. Now, you got more money, but how did the Jets treat you? And then you go to Kansas City, and how did that go? You badmouth Andy Reid. One of the most player-friendly coaches of all time. You badmouthed him, and now you're in Baltimore. We'll see what happens there. It doesn't always work out in your favor, even if you have all the power. But Jaylen Ramsey being Jaylen Ramsey, it worked out for him. So I'm not going to sit here and hate on the guy. I'm not going to sit here and question, what kind of person he is. I don't think he's a bad person. I'm going to sit here and say, man, I thought your back was hurt. It wasn't. But at the end of the day, you got what you wanted. And that's all anybody can really ever ask in society is, hey, you get a better job, you get a better career path, and you get a better environment to work in. That's what Jaylen Ramsey got. And I'll tell you what, I can't hate on that. More on ESPN 690 when we get back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny and nice today. The afternoon high in the mid-70s. Clear tonight. Cool. We'll drop into the upper 40s, but another nice day tomorrow. A partly sunny Saturday. Highs around 75. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Save thousands right now with Beard's unbeatable deals.
Quitting tobacco isn't easy. The good news is, Tobacco-Free Florida is here to help you quit your way by offering the free support and tools you'll need to succeed. Our AHEC cessation program offers Group Quit, virtual classes you can take from the comfort of your own home across every county in Florida. All you need is a phone, tablet, or computer. You may also be eligible to receive up to $400 worth of free quit aids, such as nicotine patches, lozenges, or gum. You aren't alone, and our group quit sessions can offer the support you've needed all along. It doesn't matter how many times you've tried to quit, now is your time to succeed, because now is the time to quit your way. So give us a call at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW to double your chances of success. Ask about free nicotine replacement options to help you quit today. This is your start to a tobacco-free life. No judgments, just help.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Hey, boss, did you notice the holiday decorations on your street?
Oh, yeah, it's getting to be that time of year again.
Yeah, makes me so happy I want to sing.
Uh-oh, I smell a song coming on.
It's beginning to look a lot like Crooksmas.
Nice. Packages near every door.
But the prettiest sight to me...
no safe touch signs, you see.
Do-it-yourself alarms we like much more.
A pair of houses in a row.
Do they have Safe Touch?
No, no, no.
So crooks like us use Crash and Smash
To get inside and take the cash.
It's beginning to look a lot like Crooksmas.
DIY alarms we love for sure.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
The Florida Forum Speaker Series, brought to you by the Women's Board of Wolfson Children's Hospital, is underway. Don't miss Major General Charles F. Bolden Jr., a retired Marine officer, astronaut, and former NASA administrator, on November 17th, and four-time Super Bowl champion and broadcaster Terry Bradshaw on January 20th, 2022. The series takes place at the Times Union Center for the Performing Arts. Get your tickets today at thefloridaforum.com. The Florida Forum has contributed more than $9.2 million to Wolfson Children's Hospital of Jacksonville.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to let the good times roll. And by roll, I mean roll on home in a brand new Toyota, because Toyotathon is on at Arlington Toyota. Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma. Arlington Toyota has 300 new Toyotas available. And with Arlington's 30-day exchange program and lifetime warranty with every new purchase, buying your new Toyota's more fun than ever. Toyotathon is on at Arlington, 10939 Atlanta Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full details.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Every game the same. It don't mean more to me. It don't mean less to me. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm grateful for my time there. It was cool, but that's it.
Pretty simple. Former Jags cornerback Jaylen Ramsey. It is what it is, man. You know, it was a bad breakup. He went to somebody better. We got left with maybe the worst person looking in the bar, but it's okay. You know, maybe that person had a great personality. Maybe we can make it work out. Hopefully Dan Arnold turns out to be the next Travis Kelce, but I won't hold my breath. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Austin Lane, Brian pushing all the right buttons. Brent Martineau in L.A. Producer Casey stuck in Houston. Miscommunications, aircraft problems. It is what it is. But we must go forward. We must progress. It is what it is. And right now, we got Brandon Ponsel on, because the picks, I wasn't here last week for the picks. I'm not sure how I did. Brian, do you have the updated list of our picks here or not? I think I went 5-1, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure how Brandon did, but the way that I gather things, I think we're fighting for second place right now because Casey is kind of running away with everything. But we got Brandon on the phone. Brandon, how are we doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, buddy. They got a good guy running the show today, Jax.
You better believe, man. I appreciate it. Brandon Ponsel, Jax Coastal Homes. Do things start to slow down now with like the colder weather? Do they heat up a little bit? What's going on with that?
Listing activity is always going to be a little slower. Obviously, properties sell when they're listed, so that'll pick back up after the holidays. But most people don't tend to put their house on the market between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Just not a good time to put your stuff on the market. Everyone's just taking a step back through the holidays, but things will fire right back up in January, February.
Well, I was going to say, do you get more phone calls from like people in the north, though, that are probably sick and tired of snow and winter and be like, hey, I got to check out Brandon and see if he's got a home for me because if I have to do one more winter with the snow, I'm out of here?
Yeah, so we do a ton of digital marketing, and that doesn't stop what we're doing on our end as an agency that, caters to a lot of buyers. We're looking to fill up our database for 2022. So these people aren't calling looking to buy or have a conversation about buying something in the next couple of weeks, but they are putting themselves in a position to start buying in 2022. So it's just a slow period for the industry.
All right, man. All right, so let's get to the reason why you're here. Let's get some picks in. We don't have the overall records. Do you know how you did last week?
I was 500 on the Thanksgiving week picks. So
okay, and I feel like that's pretty standard for the year in terms of a lot of people playing this game. But we got 6 picks to go from. The
Jags keep killing me.
It seems whenever you pick against them, man. I know, man. I appreciate the fandom, but eventually you got to be hip to the game. The Jaguars-Rams one, it's an interesting number. We'll break that down later. But Brian, I think we got the picks in front of you right now. We got 6 of them to go from. Let's start with the college and work our way down to the NFL. What do you got for us on the slate this week?
All right, so it looks for the Big 12 championship. Baylor is plus 4.5 against Oklahoma State.
Ooh. Brandon, what do you like? Baylor, Oklahoma State, plus 4.5 for Baylor.
I think I'm going to take the points in this one. Baylor's been very, very consistent. They've been playing good football. Oklahoma State just had a massive game in Bedlam with OU. So I don't know that Baylor gets the job done and wins the game, but I'll take the 4.5 and feel pretty good about this one.
Man, I like the way that Baylor plays football. They're a smash mouth team, plays some pretty good defense. And it would be the most Big 12 thing ever is if Baylor beats Oklahoma State and they kind of eat each other like the Big 12 always does. Yeah, go ahead and give me Baylor as well, Brian. I got to go Baylor here. Do we have Brent's picks? Did he say what he wants or not?
Yeah, Brent and Casey both picked Baylor.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. So then it's going to be Oklahoma State for sure. All right, who do you got for the next one?
All right, SEC championship. Georgia, negative 6.5 versus Bama.
-6 in favor of the Bulldogs. Brandon, what do you like here?
Well, this is a tough one. I've been saying Alabama would win this game for a while now, but they looked bad last week, and Georgia's defense is just so good. I'm just going to lay the points with Georgia. I think they get it done.
I'm in the same boat here. I think if you asked me 4 or 5 weeks ago, I think Alabama wins this game. After watching the Auburn game, not so confident. I understand that, maybe you took Auburn for granted, but it's still it's the rivalry game. It's the Iron Bowl, and you played like that, and you played to an inferior defense compared to Georgia. So if you're giving up 7 sacks to Auburn, well, then what is Georgia going to do to you? If you're averaging whatever it was, I think 2 point something a carry against Auburn, then what is Georgia going to do to you? I think Georgia has enough offensive firepower to keep Alabama honest, but their defense has been the most consistent thing in college football all season. Give me Georgia with -6. What do you got for next for us, Brian?
All right, looks like the excuse me.
I'm sorry, Brent and Casey, what were their picks?
That's right, it's a sweep.
Alabama, a sweep again.
Casey and Brent both going with Roll Tide.
Okay.
All right, Big 10 championship. Michigan -10 versus Iowa.
Brandon Ponsel, action to you. Michigan, Iowa.
Same breakdown for me as on the Baylor-Oklahoma State game. Michigan just had probably the best win that program's had since Charles Woodson was there. So I think they're going to have a little bit of a letdown. I think they somehow win, but I'll take the 10.5 in Iowa.
Man. See, I get where you're going here, and I would almost come with you. I just feel like I am not bought into Iowa's firepower if they can keep up with the track meet with the Michigan Wolverines. I think Michigan found something against Ohio State in their offense. and I think they can keep that momentum rolling. You saw what they did against the Wisconsin Badgers, who, you know how I feel about it, Brian, might be the second best defense in all of college football behind the Georgia Bulldogs, obviously. I think Michigan can put up points. I think Iowa can't keep up. Go ahead and give me Michigan. What do we have from Brent and Casey?
Yeah, Austin, you're on the island by yourself because Brent and Casey both pick the Hawkeyes.
Bring it. Good. You know what we call that? We call it a game picker-upper.
Austin, if Michigan blows out Iowa, they're going to be my pick to win it all. I just need to see it from them one more time because Georgia's quarterback play is not good.
True. I mean, Georgia likes to run the football, man, more than actually go through the air. And if you get that Michigan offense, I hear you. It's going to be an interesting game. I get it. 10.5 points is a lot. It could be kind of a stinker, but it is the Big Ten. You still got to watch. You got to respect it. All right, we got the NFL slate now. Okay, Brian, sorry. What do you got for us?
All right, Chargers +3 versus the Bengals.
Chargers on the road going to Cincinnati. But really a game of two future quarterbacks. I feel like two maybe future all-pros, if you will. Brandon, what do you like in this game? Chargers, Bengals.
I like the Bengals here. They looked great last week. They've come out of their little slump, and Chargers look terrible. So I'm going to take the Bengals in the cold Cincinnati weather.
Yeah, I like it, man. You're not playing in SoFi Stadium. You're playing in that Cincinnati, that lake effect weather, if you will. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals -3. Brian, what do you got for Brent and Casey?
They're both picking the Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, maybe they know something that we don't. Flying to L.A. and everything. All right, so next we have, let's save the Jaguars game for last year. So then let's go with the Patriots game here, Brian.
Okay, Pats +2.5 versus the Bills.
Great game. Great primetime game. A lot at stake here. Who are the Buffalo Bills? Do we quite know yet? You know the New England Patriots are always hard to beat when that colder weather starts coming around towards the end of the season. Brandon, what do you like here? Patriots +2 at Buffalo. I'm sorry, +2.5 at Buffalo.
This is such a big game for the Bills Mafia. That place is going to be electric. The team's they're going to bring their A game. I think the Patriots are very, very good, but they're going to get it on the chin this Sunday. I'll take the Bills.
We are on the exact same page right now. We have a Patriots team that I think is surging, that is playing a good brand of football on defense, and Mac Jones is looking to be like he's the real deal. And we have a Buffalo Bills team where, I'll be honest, I don't know quite who they are yet. One week their defense is dominating. The next week Jonathan Taylor has 5 touchdowns. So I'm not quite sure who the Buffalo Bills are yet. But at the same time, I mean, this is the game that they got to turn around and say, we are who we thought they were. I think the Bills are a playoff contender. So with that being said, give me the Buffalo Bills. Brian, what do you got from Brent and Casey?
So Casey Kurt agrees with you guys. He's picking the Pats, but Brent Martineau has the Bills.
Okay. Sounds well. And so Brent agrees with us because we're both taking the Bills. Casey's taking the Pats. So Casey disagrees. Okay, gotcha. And the last game, Jags, Rams. Brian, what is that number up to right now?
+13.
Okay, +13. Jacksonville traveling to the West Coast to take on Matthew Stafford and company. Brandon, this has kind of been your Achilles heel all year of taking Jaguars games. What do you like for this one?
This is the spot, just the spot Sean McVay and Matt Stafford needed. Get well game. Jags are terrible on the West Coast. I think the Rams roll.
Yeah, this is a huge number, and usually, I'm going to pick against that number. But you have a Rams team right now that needs a flawless victory, if you will. It needs some confidence built up. You have a Rams defense that needs to find an identity and really needs to find it quickly. I think the Jaguars offense can provide that. I just think it's too much firepower. I think Von Miller comes out of the woodwork. I think this Rams defense comes out of the woodwork, and they have a field day. So go ahead and give me the Rams as well. What about Mr. Sunshine and Rainbows and Casey? What do they pick?
They both picked the Rams.
Oh, wow. So this is a clean sweep. No one's buying the Jaguars. Even Brent, who's going over there to cover the Jaguars, isn't believing in them. All right. Brandon, man, appreciate the picks. Hopefully we can make it an interesting game towards the end here. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Thanks, Austin. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too, man. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
All right, Brandon Ponsel. Man, I'm not sure what the lead right now is for Casey, but I feel like he's pretty comfortable. So hopefully, I feel like a couple of these games we went back and forth in terms of the opposite picks. So hopefully I can make up some ground here on Casey, because he's been really the shining moment of that segment, because everybody else is losing money right now. So hopefully no one's actually listening to us and placing those bets down in Vegas, because it's probably not that pretty right now. I think, do we still have South Beach Gary on the line, by the way?
We don't have South Beach Gary, but call back South Beach Gary.
This guy, was pretty pumped up about his Dolphins in the preseason. Really liked Will Fuller. You know how I feel about Will Fuller, and I might have been right about Will Fuller, but I was really curious to see what South Beach Gary had to say. Obviously, didn't want to sit through the pick segment. The phone lines are open, though, and if anybody else wants to call in, star 690, feel free to call in, say what's up. But set aside from that, let's talk a little more about college football. Let's talk about college football tonight, and let's talk about why this game could actually have a lot of implications in the future of the Oregon Ducks. So, and by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but we got the Pac-12 championship tonight on ESPN 690, if I'm not mistaken.
We do.
We do. All right, so we're going to break right now. Let's go ahead and set the scene a little bit. Mario Cristobal, Oregon head coach. Rumors, speculation, hearsay that this could be his last game in Oregon, and he might be making his way to coach a Florida team. More of that when we come back here on ESPN 690.
This is Action Sports Jax.
I think I'm getting closer and closer to doing the anatomy of the screenplay. I mean, what the hell? I mean, why can't we run a screen in Jacksonville for 14 years since I've been here? 14 freaking years we can't run a screenplay. And then on defense, we can't stop the damn thing. They can't stop a screenplay. We can't run a screenplay. What is going on in Jacksonville? I mean, it's unbelievable. They run screenplays in high school.
Know what time it is? It's time to get moving. Cora Physical Therapy has opened a new state-of-the-art clinic in Kingsland on Boone and Haddock, and will be opening another one soon in Brunswick. With Cora, you have access to licensed, passionate clinicians, only the most innovative equipment, and life-changing therapies. Cora is all about treating everyone right now. It's your move. Visit coraphysicaltherapy.com for a free screening. No physician's referral required. Same-day appointments available.
You don't have to visit Buffalo to get fresh, delicious, mouth-watering wings made to order. Just go to the Extreme Wings nearest you. Extreme Wings is where the locals have been going for the freshest, never-frozen, world-famous hot wings since 1999. Dozens of flavors to choose from. Full liquor bar, happy hour specials, state-of-the-art TVs on every wall. After the game, after work, for lunch, for dinner. Make it extreme. Check out their award-winning Pit Road wings. Oh, they're so good. They are grilled to perfection with extremely secret seasoning. Looking for a family-friendly sports restaurant that can accommodate large parties? Well, look no further. You can take the entire team to Extreme Wings after the game, where all kids' meals are just $6.99. Come celebrate the grand opening of Extreme Wings' newest location. That's Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax. Extreme burgers, salads, wraps, and of course, world-famous Extreme Wings. Do what the locals do and make it extreme. Extreme Wings' newest location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, or visit a location near you.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After the crash, call the police and document the scene by taking photos of all the vehicles involved. If you were injured, get medical attention as soon as possible. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
From city streets to back roads. From road warrior to carpooler. There are some things you can always count on. Like the reliability, durability, and power of Die Hard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on Die Hard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
5G is here, but
But the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Coach and I are, both very appreciative of our relationship. I think a lot of him. He's been a lot in my career. He has a lot of coaches out there in the country, and I think you appreciate the job he does more when you're gone than maybe when you were there. Because when you move on, you appreciate the fact that he works really hard. He doesn't ask any of his assistants to do anything that he doesn't do. And he holds everybody to a high standard.
Georgia Bulldogs coach Kirby Smart talking about, really his mentor, you can call him, in Urban Meyer. Does the student become the teacher this Saturday? I like Kirby Smart's chances. I really do. And I it's so crazy to pick against Alabama and Nick Saban, especially in an SEC championship game, especially when the stakes could not be higher. But man, I say this all the time, and it's starting to become cliche now, but this Georgia defense, it's the most consistent. Like, they have not given you a reason not to believe in them yet, right? Like, even though Ohio State offense, everyone's so high and mighty about, okay, I mean, they were good, but Michigan came along, and Michigan, literally outran a track meet with the Ohio State Buckeyes. So maybe they let you down a little bit. And obviously the Ohio State offense may let you down against Oregon a little bit. This Georgia defense, though, week in and week out, it's hard to be let down by them. And I wonder, I get it, Bryce Young, future and all this stuff, but I just think it's going to be too much for Alabama to handle. Now, Nick Saban, in terms of preparation, in terms of getting the best out of his players, is there anybody better? Maybe not. Maybe Nick Saban can come up with the game plan, the game script that's going to will them to a victory, but I think it's going to be very hard against the Georgia Bulldogs. Austin Lane, Action Sports, Jackson, ESPN 690. We got Brian pushing all the right buttons. And Brian, I think you probably know this about me, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners don't know this about me, but every Sunday we have a family tradition. We call it Flapjack Sundays. And what we do is we get, I'd say a half a container of pancake mix, get a whole package of bacon, and that's what we eat, man. That's like the family tradition that we have. And you better believe when I go in, I go in. I'm talking about at least 10 strips of bacon. I'm talking about at least 8 thick cut flapjacks. Little bit of that. Shout out to like that blueberry jam that you can put on it. I can put a little blueberry jam, and I put maple syrup as well. Don't judge me. Yeah, this is a judgment-free zone. This is like Planet Fitness, so don't judge me. Okay, it's like my cheat meal. It's my cheat day and Sunday, and that's how I do it. I just want you to know, believe me when I say that those pancakes, that bacon, that raspberry or blueberry jam, whatever's on those pancakes that day with all that butter, they didn't go down as well they've ever went down before when it was October 17th, Sunday morning, Miami Dolphins, Jacksonville Jaguars in London, and it was the coming out party for Trevor Lawrence. Not really. He had an okay game, but it was the coming out party for that Jaguars deep. Not really, because Tua Tagovailoa had a great day, but it was the coming out party for the Jacksonville Jaguars because they got that win against the Miami Dolphins 23-20. And with that being said, we are happy once again He still exists. He called into the show. We are happy to be joined now by the 5-7 Miami Dolphins fan, South Beach Gary. Long time no see. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. How are we, man?
I hope you do too, Austin. Going for the 4th straight, Austin.
I hear you. Yeah, I mean,
if they run the tape, they got the bye, then the Jets, New Orleans, Tennessee, New England. It's feasible.
It's feasible.
7 and make the tournament. How great would that be?
I mean, it would going from London, losing to the 2-9 now Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, with the help of the Sabres, but that's okay.
Going from London and losing to the 2-9 Jacksonville Jaguars and somehow finding yourselves in the playoffs. Yes, South Beach Gary, I will come along with you, and I will say that would be very impressive.
Tua only had 4 incompletions on Sunday. And, Austin, he hasn't had many more starts than Trevor has, because considering, that Fitzmagic started the season last year, he only had about maybe 5-6 more starts than Trevor. 4 incompletions the whole day.
Okay, now if you're trying to have some Trevor Lawrence slander and say that Tua Tagovailoa is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence, let me go ahead and stop you right there. He's also had some rough games as well, and I think Jaylen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, I think their receiving options are a little better right now than what we have in Jacksonville, but please continue.
The receiving options are better, but the offensive line isn't really better, though, than
it's
Jacksonville.
I would say it's comparable.
Yeah, but I'm excited. But Austin, there hasn't been many teams that started out 1-7 to make the playoffs. You got to give Brian Flores credit. At least that team, the team did not give up. They did not.
I think Brian Flores gets a lot of credit here. I think a guy who was essentially all but out the door in terms of that fan base in Miami when they lost to the Jaguars and how that defense played. He has definitely turned things around, and that's what you want to see. Their defense is starting to look like who we thought they were going to be, and then that's a big help, obviously, playing complimentary football with Tua Tagovailoa. So I understand it's South Beach. I'm glad that you called in to gloat about how good your Dolphins are doing now. You went radio silent for a little bit, and from London, went radio silent. One last question for you, man, because you follow this team maybe more than anybody here in this town. Is Will Fuller okay? Or is
Will is still out?
Is Will Fuller okay?
A few broken fingers in his hand. Hopefully, maybe after the bye, he'll finally come back. I don't know, but
okay.
But they've won him without Will Fuller. So Devontae Parker should be back. He practiced this week, so
okay,
he should be back for Sunday.
South Beach.
Just getting excited.
No, hey, as you should be, man. That's what happens when you have a team that's still in the playoffs.
Have a great weekend, Austin.
Yeah, you too, man. Great to hear from you. He broke his fingers now? I thought it was a groin. I thought it was a calf. Now Will Fuller's got broken fingers. Was he building a home? Is he a carpenter? How's he breaking his fingers? You talking about Tua Tagovailoa's fastballs coming a little too fast? I don't know about that. But needless to say, yeah, I don't like the radio silence, all right? I don't like when the Jaguars beat the Dolphins and we don't hear from South Beach Gary for like 5-6 weeks. But, hey, more power to him, man, because the Dolphins are back on the right path, maybe going to the playoffs. We'll see. We aren't having those conversations, and that's okay because you know what's going to happen? If the Jaguars go to L.A. and they get blown out, we're one step closer to Shock Your Mock season, and we know how much people like that. New song, new intensity, new attitude. Shock Your Mock Season 3 might be dropping pretty soon. All right? I'm just telling you guys right now, it might be coming sooner than you think because there's only so much we can talk about how good Trevor Lawrence is in press conferences. All right? There's only so much we can talk about how good this defense is with Joe Cohen. There's only so much we can talk about how is Urban Meyer going to go to another college coaching job or not. Okay? We got to fill the void somehow. We don't talk NBA in the show for whatever reason. Now we got Brian in the house, and Brian wants to talk some NBA, and maybe in the 5 o'clock hour, Brian, we might just be able to do that because I want to talk NBA.
Don't tease me with a good time.
Hey, I mean, you see my shirt right now, rocking that Milwaukee Bucks championship shirt.
There you go.
50% off because I got it a couple weeks ago because, you know, you got to get the last year's model. So, you know, I'm all about NBA. But needless to say, Shock Your Mock season might be right around the corner. And speaking of Urban Meyer, you know, coaching colleges, if you will, that's not going to be the case. I think we've all established that Urban Meyer is here to stay. But a name that's being floated around right now because this, and maybe I'm being out of my mind here, but this might be the craziest season in terms of the college football coaches carousel, but it seems like every single year we say that. But Mario Cristobal right now is being linked after this game to possibly going to coach the University of Miami, which would, that it would be big for a couple of reasons. Number one, it would be big because, well, this guy is accustomed to Miami. This guy is from Miami. This guy, at least I'm not sure like what percentage, but he is Cuban. So like he has ties to that city and what that city is all about. So from a recruiting standpoint, that could be big. Oregon is a team right now that's still fighting to, maybe in the outside chance to maybe go to the college football playoff. Probably not going to happen, but, still trying to fight there. But it's had a pretty good season, beat Ohio State, had to deal with some injuries. And, he's kind of brought Oregon back from the prominence that was a couple years ago when I forgot who, I think Taggart leaves and then he takes over. But my question to you, Brian, is what's up with Oregon? Why are coaches always leaving Oregon? Like, I thought Oregon was like the mecca in terms of getting what you wanted. Like, you're talking about the birthplace of Nike. You're talking about Phil Knight, CEO of Nike, in your back pocket. Hey, Phil, go give me an extra $2 million for some new locker room renovations. Oh, I got you. No problem. Hey, Phil, need some new jerseys. Really try to get these recruits in here. Oh, no problem. I got you. I guess, like, Brian, am I wrong here? Or is Oregon not like the most ideal place to want to coach? The Pacific Northwest, beautiful, God's country.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, I get from Mario Cristobal's standpoint where you have ties to Miami, so like that makes sense. And yeah, it's the Miami Hurricanes, and I get it. If you're less than 25 years old, you probably never watched them win a national championship. But I remember the great times, the dynasties that were the Miami Hurricanes. We haven't talked about that in a while. What do you make of this Mario Cristobal story from him going to Oregon, possibly going to Miami?
He's probably using Oregon as a stepping stone, but that sounds weird to say, especially where the two programs are at, probably the last 5 to 10 years. What I like in this too is even how Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly, how they've moved on from very good situations because they feel like they found somebody better. And I like it to when me and Casey were talking on Access Sports Jags Overtime to when I got broken up with in high school and my cousin was like, hey, man, that girl's not yours. It was just your turn. And I just said the same thing about the head coaches. Look, Mario Cristobal, he's not yours, Oregon. Yeah. It's just your turn with him. He's going to move on. He's going to try to find something that he deems better. Yeah. And that's okay. That's all right. So it's probably just a sense of, you said he was from, he's from that part of, from Florida. He's not from South Florida. Yeah. Coming back home, there's a lot of draw to that. But you're right, because of all the resources that the University of Oregon has, it's a prime spot for somebody who just wants to have a good situation and will be content in a great situation.
Well, and keep in mind, Manny Diaz has not been fired yet either. So, like, how was, I don't know, like, I assume you're recruiting right now. Like, how is that going for Manny Diaz?
Awkward.
When he hears these, you better believe it's awkward, and I get Miami probably underachieved a little bit, but still, man, it's just, we'll see what comes of this. I will say this, though. Yeah, I think in terms of going from Oregon to Miami, I don't want to call it a downgrade, but it's not like, to me, you're not making a step up. It's probably parallel, if you will, where the programs are at and all that stuff. And plus, the resources at Oregon, come on. But if you're from there, if you have ties there, that obviously adds to it. That adds to the intrigue. But I'll tell you what, if I'm Oregon and I'm Phil Knight or whoever's running that show there in Oregon, I'm trying to do everything in my power to stop Mario Cristobal from leaving. Because I will say this about him. Oregon's kind of always had this persona of being speedy, athletic, but not physical and tough. I think Mario Cristobal came to that university and he installed that toughness. He installed that discipline. And they're still fast, they're still speedy, but now they're also a tough team. Go back to that Ohio State game and get back to me and tell me, if they're a tough team or not. So if I'm Oregon, I've watched too many coaches leave. I'm doing everything in my power. I'm giving him stock in Nike if I have to, but I'm trying to keep that guy because I think that guy is special. More on ESPN 690 when we get back.
If you're like me, you come home from work and walk through a messy garage hurdling shoes and bats and bikes. Well, get the easy garage solution that I got. It's called Easy Garage Solutions. One-of-a-kind monkey bar technology that will last a lifetime. Hang the bikes and the lawn equipment. Easy Garage Solutions. Shelving and overhead storage for boxes and bins. Easy Garage Solutions. Cabinets and flooring available too. Easy Garage Solutions. Find them at easygaragesolutions.com. Easy Garage Solutions. It's that easy.
Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Owen. I'm a cigarette.
Do you like being a cigarette?
No, I don't. Not really into killing thousands of people. Sorry, no filter.
Right.
What's your sign?
Pisces?
I'm a Cancer. Cigarette joke. But seriously, I do cause cancer. And heart disease. And strokes. I could go on forever. Unlike the people who smoke me.
The average smoker lives 10 years less than non-smokers. Quit today. Find out how at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-333-1750. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
For the ones who get going when the going gets tough. And the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you. So you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It doesn't matter how old we are, we all need love and support. Yet teenagers who end up in foster care have a much harder time finding it, as nearly 82% of current foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. The good news is you can positively impact a teen's life by becoming a foster parent with help from Family Support Services of North Florida. You don't have to be married or own a home. You provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. So if you've ever felt a calling to help youth, please take this opportunity to explore becoming a foster parent to a teen through Family Support Services. Teenagers may no longer be little, but they still need lots of love. Take the next step by visiting foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
Holidays are here, and so is fashionable fitness. Get yourself a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G. It's a phone that folds in half to literally stand on its own. It's a cool phone. You can pair it with your Galaxy Watch 4 for ultimate wellness and wow factor. You can check health stats, flex personal records. Over 90 activities can be tracked, such as biking, swimming, golfing, and more. So invest in yourself with tech made to crush goals. Holidays open up with Galaxy. Shop it all at Samsung.com. 5G connection and availability may vary. Check with carrier. Products are sold separately.
For the ones who get going when the going gets tough. And the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you. So you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Welcome back. Last hour here, football at 5. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Holding the fort down with my dude Brian, pushing all the right buttons. Brian, hour number 2. And I'll tell you what, I want to see some more. I want to see preseason game number 4. Not saying you made the team yet. Not saying you're not going to be the last person cut. But I'm just saying, I'll see you preseason game number 4. See what you bring to the game here. See what you got.
I like it.
Very impressed so far. Action Sports Jax Brent Martineau on his way to L.A. Is he in L.A. or is he on his way to L.A.? He's probably in L.A. by now.
Yeah.
Hopefully in L.A. right now. Yep, he's with Marcel Robinson. They're there covering the Jags-Rams game.
He's not with Casey. Casey just sent a text message.
Okay.
He's eating his, he says that he's currently having the best airport food he's ever had. I can't name the place.
Okay.
It's not sponsored.
No, for sure. Houston I know, as I said, the cell phone company that I probably got in trouble for. But, Houston goes hard, man, in terms of food. Because I was there a couple weekends ago, and we were there for like a good hour waiting for our flight. Yeah, Houston's got they got barbecue. They got a lot of good stuff there. So you can't go wrong in the Houston airport. I guess long story short, if you're going to be chilling in an airport for a while, there's worse spots to be chilling than the Houston airport. So at least there's that. Now, missing the Lakers game, that is what it is from him. But hopefully he gets things figured out. Hopefully he's sitting next to an A-list celebrity, and hopefully we get some cool stories about that on Monday. Speaking of cool stories, Marcel Robinson, the stylish one of the group, if you will, caught up with Brian Dawkins, one of Jacksonville's favorite sons, I would say, Hall of Famer, the pride of William M. Raines. And I think Marcel caught up with him for a pretty cool interview about, he's got a new book coming out, if I'm not mistaken. Marcel Robinson caught up with him, talked to the one and only Brian Dawkins. Here's that interview.
We are blessed to be joined by you can sort of say a local hometown hero, Brian Dawkins, former Raines Viking, former Philadelphia Eagle, Denver Broncos, and more importantly, Hall of Famer. How are we doing today, Brian?
Absolutely blessed, brother. Absolutely blessed.
Now, it's funny you say that. Speaking of being blessed, that's exactly why we're here, to talk about this nice little piece of literature that I got here, Blessed by the Best, by Brian Dawkins. Just tell me sort of kind of what went into the motivation and why did you want to sort of put your story on paper?
I thought it was very important for me to, first of all, go against my natural inclination not to write a book, because I never thought about writing a book when I was younger. But from some of the things that I've been blessed to do in my life and the success that I've had, many people saw me as I was getting that Hall of Fame bus right there and jacket and all of those things. And they really I really felt that they thought everything has always gone smoothly in my life, that I've always been the top guy, always the person that everybody wanted. And that's far from the case. And so the Lord basically put it on my heart to begin to really put from pen to paper and then into a book, that some of the things that I've grown through in my life, not just gone through, but I've grown through, the way that I have been blessed to see things in my life, to reframe things in my past, to empower me in my present, so that I can go on to have successful futures. I use that same formula to this day. So it's not just a football book. Yes, there's some football in it, but it's really a life tool.
It's funny you mentioned that because you said something similar. People see you as this figure, you're a Hall of Famer, you're this picture perfect characterization of success. But just like everyone else, you've gone through plenty of struggles and continue to, as many others. One of the things I want to kind of get into about the book, and it's something that's really related to something that a lot of people can relate to, it's just the mental health aspect of everything. You actually, at one of the highest point, what most people would consider the highest point of your life, we're going through some real tough struggles, that being your rookie year. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was in a rough place. It was something that was, I would say, 95% my fault because I was not talking. So that's some of the things that I've learned kind of in my neighborhood that men, especially black black males, we don't talk about our feelings. We don't share or show emotion. You don't cry, rub dirt on it. That type of mentality. And that works for some things. It really does, but not for eternal hurts. And so I had some things in my life that I had not spoken about to anybody. And those things were toxic. They were toxins in my system. And they were taking me to pressure point because there's other things as a rookie, a lot of things expected of me. And so all of those things began to pressurize me. And I fell into depression and fell into some self-harm thoughts. And so I had to do things differently. My beautiful wife, Connie, and my coach at the time, Emmett Thomas, they basically tag teamed and said, no, you need to go get help. All of these things in the book. But I went to get the help that I needed to speak to somebody about things that I was not going to speak to anybody about if it was up to me. And what it did, Marcel, it really blessed me to come down off my emotions so that I can hear a lot clearer from a vertical relationship perspective, the things I needed to start doing and some of the things I needed to stop doing. And so that was a very, very powerful time for me to really begin to get to know who I truly am, because up until that point, I did not know who I truly was.
We've talked about this sort of extensively, and you and I have talked a bunch as well, but just tell me let's rewind this back. You said something that I think is quite interesting that I think a lot of people should really take heed to, is that just that upbringing of just being that machismo, that sort of, got to be tough, got to be strong, throw some dirt on it, something that you referenced in the book as well. Just kind of rewinding back to your days in Northwest Jacksonville, that's basically the culture. How important is it for, not only for people to read this in the book, but to hear from someone like you to say, hey, just because that's the way that we were raised, it takes two people to create a habit, but one to change it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that habit changing, it starts with a thought, thinking differently, and then inviting people into your life that you can talk to, that you do feel comfortable talking to. Sometimes the best are adults, those that you can reach out to speak about some things. But I have 4 people in my life now. I call it my blessed pack. There are 4 individuals that I can call at any given time if I need to talk about whatever's going on with me. And sometimes it's as simple as pray for your boy. Pray for your boy. And I know they're going to do it. And they usually text me back some verses from the Bible and just some thoughts of encouragement. And then if I need to talk to them, I can. That's powerful. Now, going back to my earlier days, yes, I had people in my life that I could have reached out to. I know I could have. I just chose not to. So that's the thing. Pray about and recognize those people that you have in your life that you can talk to. Here's the other thing. My story at that time was not for everybody. The stuff that you're going through is not for everybody. You can share it to that one person because you can trust that one person to hold on to your stuff, to help you with your stuff, but to hold on to it. It's not for everybody to know what's going on with you, right? And so that's the other empowering thing about that. So, yes, I had to be tough because of specific things in the neighborhood, but that toughness does not mean that I can't share some of the traumas that I've dealt with in my life, going through some of the things that I went through in my neighborhood, if that makes sense.
Yeah, complete sense, and it's sort of kind of one of those, so you go through what you go through type mentality, which I love. And I also love this about this one particular part, sort of in kind of the beginning of your story, once you got into the league, when you really went through this fundamental rediscovery of yourself, which I think is something that a lot of people are going through right now at this very moment. You took it down to the nuts and the bolts, even until you were wearing, used to wearing an earring because you said it felt like it looked good. But even just to that, you say, you know what? Any external component that's creeping in, that's making me be something different than my authentic self has to go. Just tell me about sort of that process and how tough was that? Because that required a level of discipline that I'm sure that you didn't even know you possessed at that time.
Yes. So one of the things about getting anywhere in life is you have to first recognize where you want to go, but also where you are. Where are you? Where am I? And so during that rookie year, I really had a chance to sit down and look at where am I? What are the things that are that I lean too heavily on? I'll say it like that, because one of those other things was alcohol that I got. Some of the hard things that I was drinking at that time, beer specifically, was one of the things that I was leaning on real hard as a crutch, right, to kind of mask the pain. So I haven't consumed beer since that time, since my rookie year. That was another thing that I got rid of. And again, that was me. That's not for other people that you have to do exactly what I did. But what I did, once again, is I recognized, where am I? Where am I? This painful place that I find myself, why am I here? What are the things that I'm now putting as premiums for me to utilize other than my vertical doggone relationship, right? And so when I then decided not to do those things, that was done in saying that I'm going to give these things away in order for me to dedicate all of me, more of me, to you, Heavenly Father. That's where that power came from, but also that thought came from, because what I was doing was not working, and I knew that vertical relationship needed to increase, and there was things that I was putting in ahead of. It was becoming idols, to be honest with you. There was some idols in my life that I needed to get rid of, and once I got rid of those, and once I had that vertical relationship begins to increase because of getting rid of those things and spending more time in prayer, more time in meditation, more time understanding the power of journaling. I would introduce that to anybody who is listening, going through anything right now. Introduce yourself to journaling your thoughts. Very powerful things I do to this day.
I love it. And Brian, I could talk to you about this book all day long, but of course, we don't have that much time. But I want to ask you one more thing about this before we get to the last topic. And it's that it's so important for, as you said, your story is not just your story. Obviously, your story is, you telling your story is going to help someone who you may not even know, strangers, and that's exactly what the book is for. What's your message to sort of the younger kids that are kind of growing up in Northwest Jacksonville, the Reigns, and even, dare I say, the Reebok Trojans, and just anyone in general kind of going through anything over there? What's your message to them in terms of how they can kind of be bigger than their circumstances?
Man, wow. I talked a little bit about it earlier. Praying about that one person that you have in your life, an adult especially, and maybe a friend, but especially an adult that you can talk to about the thing that you have going on in your life. And here's the other thing, and here's the most powerful thing, one of the most powerful things that I grasp, that the person that you see in front of you, the person that was blessed to earn that Hall of Fame trophy, that person, the things that were needed to achieve all of that was in me when I was right there in Jacksonville. So the greatness that came out of me was not ahead of me. It was already in me. So that's the powerful thing, a powerful lesson for anybody who's going through anything right now in your life. Your neighborhood does not define you. It does not, where you start off from does not have to dictate to where you're going to be. Create that vision for yourself. But once again, the greatness that's inside of you is not ahead of you. It's already, once again, inside of you.
Perfect. I love it. The book is Blessed by the Best, and it's not just about the pages that are in the book. All the net proceeds from the book go to the Brian Dawkins Impact, or 50%. Sorry, 50%.
50%.
Sorry, hold on, folks.
I'm pledging 50% of my proceeds is going to the book. It's going to my Brian Dawkins Impact Foundation, excuse me.
And where can the folks find the book?
Oh, you can go to briandawkins.com and get a signed copy or a regular copy.
Perfect. And Brian, again, thank you for joining us talking about the book. It's a great book. And speaking of greatness, the Jaguars, we got some injuries, man. You look like you can still suit up over here. Can we get you on the field for a couple games? We got 6 games left. You got some juice in you left?
No. Those days are over with. I enjoyed the heck out of it, but those days are over with.
All right. Well, fair enough. We won't ask you anymore, at least today. Thanks for joining us, Brian.
Appreciate you.
Well done. By Action Sports, Jack's Marcel Robinson. Fantastic interview. Yeah, I mean, I had no idea, Brian Dawkins was kind of went through all of that. And it's definitely a book that you got to check out to kind of read the whole story, because it sounds like he was in a pretty bad spot, man. And it was cool that he was able to overcome that, used the help of family and friends to do that, as a lot of people have to do, and ended up having a Hall of Fame career. So props to him for that, number one, but props to him for, telling the story, because it's not easy, especially in terms of mental health and everything. Not everyone is built for that. So props to Brian Dawkins. And, if I can add anything to it, and I'm not sure if any, in terms of a capacity that he works with the NFL or the NFLPA or anything. And I'm not sure if the NFL Symposium is still a thing. I'll be honest. I haven't heard about this NFL Symposium in a while. I don't know if COVID shut that down. I'm not sure if rookies are still, gathering and hearing speakers and people lecture them about what life is like in the league and how you can maximize your opportunity of playing in the NFL. But I hope in some sort of capacity that they ask Brian Dawkins, if there still is a symposium, to take part in that and to speak to these young guys coming in. Because I'm reminded of back in 2010 when I was coming from a small school at Murray State in the NFL, and it was a whirlwind for me. And a lot of the things that you heard at the symposium, this is almost over a decade ago now. It wasn't so much of the mental health and all that stuff. It was more, all right, you gotta be smart with your money. You can't go clubbing every single night. Yada yada yada. And that stuff's important to hear too. And you got to hear that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'm sitting there thinking hey, after the symposium in San Diego, I got to go back to play football. And I got Joe Cullen and I got all this stuff going on. How do I deal with that? How do I make the team? Let alone from, blowing thousands and thousands of dollars on cars and bottle service and all that stuff. I wasn't even close to worrying about that at the time. And I think now where mental health is it's starting to become more of a talk about thing and less taboo. And you're starting to see players, old and present, come forward and kind of speak their piece a little bit. It's a cool environment to see. And I think the next generation of football players that are coming into the league, they need to hear those things too. Those rookies next year in the 2022 draft class, they need to hear Brian Dawkins. They got to read Brian Dawkins' book. Because it was one thing for me coming out in 2010 in terms of the pressure and all of that. But you got to remember back in 2010, Twitter was still kind of in its infancy. It was there, but it wasn't like it is now. Instagram was just, in the beginning phases. Facebook was still there and everything. But the whole way that social media is perceived now compared to back when I played, it's night and day. And obviously with social media, it can be a great tool to interacting with fans, keeping people informed, sharing your thoughts. It's a great tool, but it can be a very toxic tool as well. And I think a lot of these players that get to the league, they just don't know how to use it to their benefit. And they end up struggling from that in the long run. So anytime a player of Brian Dawkins' caliber, a Pro Bowler, a Pro Bowler, an All-Pro and a Hall of Famer, anytime a guy like that can come forward and say something at a symposium or just talk to a team, you better believe they're going to listen. Because a lot of teams, they bring in motivational speakers, they're bringing, successful CEOs, and that's special, but that can mean something too. But from having a guy that you shared a field with, or at least, came before you, that you have to respect, hearing it come from people like that means that much more. More football at 5. We'll get back here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
It'll become cool overnight tonight, so grab a sweater or a jacket under fair skies, but with some fog later on as temperatures drop into the upper 40s. But a mild Saturday as skies become partly sunny. The afternoon high near 75, cooler at the beaches. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Save thousands right now with Beards' unbeatable deals.
Men, did you know that over half of all males suffer from ED or PE?
Ladies, your man should talk to the specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center.
If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down,
Men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
For a private consultation at Prime Men's Medical Center, call 904-664-8217.
See results on your first visit, guaranteed, or pay nothing.
Call 904-664-8217.
Hey, Bruiser, you ready to do the old holiday shopping routine?
Yeah, I got all the houses picked out.
Alrighty.
Hey, I almost feel sorry for these folks.
Oh, don't go soft on me now. That's why they pay insurance.
Okay, so you promise those kids will just lose their bikes for a little while?
Yeah, I promise. Whatever.
All right, then let's sing our favorite holiday song.
Yeah. We're making our list, checking it twice.
Looking for houses with things that are nice. Bruiser and Browser are coming to town. We're filling our truck, we won't leave much.
Avoiding those houses at God's safe touch.
Bruiser and Browser are coming to town.
Crime does increase during the holidays. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, owner of Safe Touch Security Systems. Our new Safe Touch two-way communicator saves lives and prevents property loss every day. Our average response time is an incredible 14 seconds. Nobody can match our servers or our price. You have my guarantee on it.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
You don't have to visit Buffalo to get fresh, delicious, mouth-watering wings made to order. Just go to the Extreme Wings nearest you. Extreme Wings is where the locals have been going for the freshest, never-frozen, world-famous hot wings since 1999. Dozens of flavors to choose from. Full liquor bar, happy hour specials, state-of-the-art TVs on every wall. After the game, after work, for lunch, for dinner. Make it extreme. Check out their award-winning Pit Road wings. Oh, they're so good. They are grilled to perfection with extremely secret seasoning. Looking for a family-friendly sports restaurant that can accommodate large parties? Well, look no further. You can take the entire team to Extreme Wings after the game, where all kids' meals are just $6.99. Come celebrate the grand opening of Extreme Wings' newest location. That's Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax. Extreme burgers, salads, wraps, and of course, world-famous Extreme Wings. Do what the locals do and make it extreme. Extreme Wings' newest location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, or visit a location near you.
In today's world, there's a lot of ways to know what's happening. At Action News Jax, we make sure our local stories have more detail, so you get every angle that impacts you. We dig for answers because you deserve the whole story. Taking time to provide context so you're clear on what's really going on. Because we know information is thrown at you 24/7. And we want you to know that Action News Jax is local coverage you can count on.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-343-8638. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-343-8638. 800-343-8638. 800-343-8638.
Quitting tobacco isn't easy. In all honesty, it's a very hard thing to do. The good news is, Tobacco Free Florida is here to help you quit your way. When you call Tobacco Free Florida's phone quit service at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW, you'll connect to a quit coach who will help you assess your addiction. You may also qualify for free nicotine patches or gum. So call us at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW to double your chances of success. No judgments, just help.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jax on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
I mean, you got to give James a lot of credit. I mean, he's not 100%, and the guy is, I mean, I hate to use the terms, but he is a warrior, and he's fighting through the heel, the knee. He's out there for his teammates, and he's doing the best that he can, and the best is his best is pretty good. We know that he's got more in it, as well when he's fully healthy. But I love the competitiveness that he's showing.
Jaguars offensive coordinator, Darrell Bevell. Yeah, James Robinson's pretty good. He's the best guy on your offense right now. He's the most consistent thing in your offense right now. He's the guy that can put the ball in the end zone right now. So if this game is somewhat close, within 10 points throughout the first quarter, I'm going to need to see some James Robinson touches. I'm going to need to see a heavy dose of James Robinson. Yes, do I want Trevor Lawrence to make progress and show that he's getting better? You better believe it. But I also like winning football games. I also like coming here on a Victory Monday and celebrating. Casey makes up these really cool, these audio edits. He plays the music. Mwah, chef's kiss. Can't get enough of it. I like that a lot. Haven't had enough of those. Had 2 of those, and that was it. Gonna need to see some more. I think you get there in the win column, not saying it's going to happen against Los Angeles, because I think you're running into a buzzsaw with Los Angeles, but you're going to get closer to victories if you keep on incorporating James Robinson. And yes, he's not 100%. Yes, the ankle, the foot, whatever the case may be, could be hobbling him a little bit, but give me James Robinson 70% as opposed to anybody else right now at 100%. Until James Robinson proves you wrong. And you know what? Yeah, he fumbled, and guess what? Sometimes that happens, right? A lot of players this team have made mistakes. Running backs are going to fumble sometimes. He doesn't have a case of the fumbles. James Robinson doesn't really fumble that much. So he hasn't really given you a reason not to go with him. He hasn't really given you a reason not to pull his number and say, hey, James Robinson, let's go, man. We're going to lean on you today. That's what you got to do. If you're an offensive coordinator, that's what you got to do. If you're Urban Meyer, you got to ask, hey, why isn't he in the game? And if you're James Robinson, man, at some point, and this is against his MO, but maybe you got to voice your frustration to be heard. Sometimes you got to be loud to be heard. I'm not saying you cause a distraction. I'm not saying that, you cause a rift or anything like that. But I'm saying if you feel like you're underappreciated, I saw you on the sidelines when they had Carlos Hyden. If you feel underappreciated, well, then maybe you got to say something. Right? Because the last thing I want, and I've said this many times before on this show, and you can mark this down again, the last thing I want to happen this year, set aside from maybe have a disappointing record, is for James Robinson to be upset and not want to be a Jacksonville Jaguar for years to come. Because we can't keep playing this game where players are frustrated and they want to go someplace else. You will never win with a philosophy like that. So hopefully Darrell Bevell, Urban Meyer, they listen to us, they hear us, and they give the rock to James Robinson. I think we got Captain Rick Riles around right now with the Florida Sportsman Fishing Report. Switch it up a little bit. Captain Rick, you there, man?
I'm right here. How you doing, boys?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Very, very strong day of fishing today. Golly, I just talked with Captain Robert Johnson. Jody Lynn, too, is on the way with a limit of blackfin tuna. Everybody's got plenty to take home. He's got a 30-pound wahoo. He's got a couple of real nice gaffer mahis and a few smaller mahis. So an excellent day out at the ledge, blue water trolling. I'm also getting very good reports from the deep water from about 130 feet out of good bottom fish being caught, and cobia all the way from 100 feet out. Now, back inshore, David Voorhees says it's the best 2-week span of red fishing that he has seen in many years. And he said the really good news is there's a world of small reds, a world of reds, as we call them, and that means that we should have a good redfish stock for years to come. We got a gorgeous day coming up tomorrow. I tell you, the guys that aren't listening to the Florida Sportsman radio show from 7 to 9, I hope they're offshore fishing because they won't want to miss it. And we will be back Monday to give you all the reports with another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing and CSS Landscaping. Thank you, boys.
Appreciate it, Captain Rick. Good to hear from you, man. Yeah, it's supposed to be a beautiful weekend, I think, at least from Saturday. I think Sunday, too, is going to be pretty nice. So, yeah, definitely get out there and get on the water if you can. I'll probably watch a lot of football, if we're being honest here. Fantasy football championships coming up pretty soon. But, man, I don't blame you if you're out in the water, especially, this Jaguars game, it's got to be a 4 o'clock game, I assume, right? It has to be.
Yeah, it's 4:05.
4:05. Great. So now I can go into the dinner hours and hopefully watch a competitive game for at least for the first half, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Brian, I found a little stat here, a little information, and I think, I don't want to sound cocky here or anything, but this stat might blow your mind in terms of the NFL draft. You ready for this one? All right. I couldn't believe this. This is Sports Illustrated quoting this thing. Do you know right now what the current draft order looks like if they were to draft today in the NFL? Do you have a good idea of how it would shake out?
Like The first 10 picks are like all.
I mean, man, if you give me the first 10 picks, I'd be super impressed. But I bet you can't give me the first 5 picks.
Yeah, I think I could.
Okay, hit me with it.
Only because I felt like I looked at this, but no,
Okay.
maybe not. Okay. So we got Detroit.
Yep, number one. Correct.
We've got Houston and Jacksonville probably tied.
But Houston would be picking third because they beat Jacksonville already.
Okay.
Yep. So Jacksonville's number 2.
So I'm
Houston number 3.
way there.
Yeah. So you're good right now. You got 3. 2 more.
I gotta believe the Jets are somewhere in there.
The Jets are number 4.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Who's
right.
number 5?
Now who's number 5?
And this is where it gets tricky.
Yeah. It's nobody out of the. Give me 5 more seconds.
You're good, man. We got time. I ain't rushing you.
Man. I tell you what, I can't think of a team that's as bad as those first 4.
You want me to give you a hint?
Sure.
You've named this team already. The Jets. So check this out.
You're good, man.
So check this out.
Yeah.
If the NFL draft was to happen today, here's how it would shake out. Lions picking number 1, Jaguars picking number 2, Houston Texans number 3, Jets picking 4, Jets picking 5.
Wow.
Buckle your seatbelts. Giants picking 6.
Wow.
Giants picking 7. Carolina Panthers picking number 8. Eagles picking number 9. Eagles picking number 10.
What is going on around here?
So with the Jets picking number 5, that comes from the trade with Jamal Adams going to Seattle.
Okay.
With the Giants picking number 6 and then number 7, number 6 comes from the trade with Chicago, which I believe Chicago used to get Fields. They moved up in the draft. So yeah, Giants number 6, Giants number 7, Panthers, and then Eagles number 9 and Eagles number 10. Due to the trade from Miami, they'd be picking right now number 10. Now, the Miami's doing pretty well. We'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, if the draft was to happen today, Jets picking 4 and 5, Giants picking 6 and 7, Eagles picking 9 and 10. How wild is that?
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Who do you have more confidence in to get it right with their back-to-back picks, the Jets or the Giants?
That's a good question. I mean, back-to-back New York picks. Oh, man. Who's going to get it right? And this is more of a GM thing than I think it is even like a head coaching thing. And I share my co-host, Brent Martineau's philosophy here. I'm a really big Robert Saleh guy. I think Robert Saleh, already you're starting to see improvements with the New York Jets. I would probably bank a little more on the Jets to get this right because you don't have to go in a quarterback situation. Your receivers are good. So now you're feeling like, all right, guys on defense, they're picks that can kind of contribute right away, and you're maybe for sure at 4 and 5. The Giants are going to need a quarterback. Probably Matt Corral. I mean, depending on how the combine and how everything shakes out in terms of the rankings, the Giants probably get Matt Corral. I don't know how confident you are with him. Yeah, I would probably trust the Jets to make the better picks than the Giants, assuming this is how it shakes out. But it's a really interesting thing to keep track of here because if it even comes close to this, that's going to be a wild 2022 draft. And Brian, I got to ask you right now, Jaguars picking number 2. This is all hearsay. It's going to change, obviously. Maybe they pick 4, maybe they pick 5. That would be nice. Pick number 2. And I don't want to get in too much draft talk right now because, we're week 13. We got some time, everybody, so calm down. There's plenty of time to talk draft and everything. But where the Jaguars sit right now at number 2, and I see a lot of comments. I see Big Diesel out there saying, let's get a wide receiver. Let's get a guy like Treylon Burks, who I actually like a lot as well, from Arkansas. Big-bodied wide receiver. I think he's like 6'3", maybe 6'4", but he can play everywhere. He plays in the slot, plays on the outside, and plays in an Arkansas team where he kind of goes underappreciated sometimes just because, it's Arkansas. They're turning a page, but it's still Arkansas. I think you put him on Alabama, we're talking about, maybe the Blitnikoff winner, if you will. I think that's the wide receiver award, if I'm not mistaken. But and I guess I'm going off past experiences and I'm just going off of like preconceived notions here, Brian. Is pick number 2 too high for a wide receiver? Especially if there's not a guy who's unequivocally the number 1 receiver. Like, I guess right now, if I was to say who the top receiver would be, I think everyone's kind of in still on the cat from Ohio State, Garrett Wilson, 6 feet, 192 pounds, runs good. He's good routes. Obviously, he's got speed. I mean, he's a great receiver, but is he worth number 2?
Right.
What do you think?
So I guess there's two schools of thoughts right here that you could have. I mean, on the one hand, you just draft for the needs of your team. And so if you're picking second, then that means that you can get your guy sooner than later. But would it make more sense if you can get him, if you can risk the chance of trading out of that number 2 pick to number 10 or, number 11 or number 8 or something like that, building some more picks maybe another first rounder, but probably a second rounder or a third rounder, some very solid rounds where you can get really good players and still get your guy. I think unless you are absolutely sure that this guy is going to be in the Pro Bowl, all pro for 10 seasons, then it probably is too high. That being said, a lot of people would say that the Jags they need a receiver, and Urban keeps talking about speed all the time. So, and he has his eyes on some of those Ohio State guys.
For sure, he does. Yep. Yeah, it's so. See right here, I'm looking at a CBS mock draft, and they got Evan Neal, offensive lineman, Alabama. 6'7", 350 pounds. My word.
I like that.
I like that a lot too.
Trevor likes that.
Trevor does like that as well. And that's what we got to keep in mind here. Now, do they need, I think, another interior defensive lineman? That would be nice, right? You can maybe get them in the second round. Do they need an edge rusher? Well, that would be nice. And then there's a lot of things that would be nice. I think when we're talking about, going forward, and we're still a long ways away, but if we're talking about offensive line, let's be honest, Brian, it's not the sexiest position in the draft.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and anybody would agree with me there. And I think if you draft offensive line, a lot of people would be like, really? But we got to keep our eye on the prize of what the primary focus is. And that's giving Trevor Lawrence the tools and the confidence to win. Now, yes, you may need another wide receiver. You need an offensive weapon to give him that tool and that give him that confidence. I get that. That can maybe come around in free agency. We'll see. With Walker Little, I hope he's the guy. Right? He has to be the guy for what you invested to get Walker Little, for what we heard about him out of training camp. He's got to be the guy. So, is Juwan Taylor playing his best brand of football right now? No. Could you put Evan Neal at right tackle? Probably. Maybe he is right tackle. I don't even know. But I'm just saying, yes, wide receiver is the sexy position. Yes, we've seen what DK Metcalf can do as a rookie. You saw what A.J. Brown did for his team as a rookie. You see what Waddle's doing right now for his team as a rookie. Devontae Smith is coming along a little bit as a rookie. Yes, rookies can make an impact. Yes, rookies can help quarterbacks. But they can also, if you take a wide receiver too high and he doesn't pan out, man, then you shoot yourself in the foot. And if you have the number 2, the number 3 pick, I don't know if that juice is worth the squeeze. If you trade down, then by all means, let's roll, let's get some more capital, and let's get some weapons. But I'm just asking the fan base of Jacksonville, if we start getting the shock your mock season and offensive line keeps coming up, I know I can't stand it. It's not sexy. It's the meat and potatoes. I had enough meat and potatoes for Thanksgiving. Give me something else. Give me some better trimmings. I get all that stuff. But priority number 1, keep Trevor Lawrence upright. Priority number 2, keep Trevor Lawrence happy. Ask him.
So good.
If he wants it, then offensive lineman it is.
And Austin, not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But like my dad, he always told me, even from like growing up, he was like, listen, offensive line will make a mediocre quarterback look good, a good QB look great, and a great QB a Hall of Famer. Because you keep him healthy, you keep him standing up, and if they're good at pass blocking, there's a good chance, if they're a good line, they're going to open up some holes for the run game, which helps the QB, which helps the team, which helps you win, no matter if it's week 1, week 17, in the Super Bowl, whenever. So, it's not sexy, you're right, but when you get on that offensive line and defensive line, the line is where the games are won and lost more times than not.
You better believe it, man. It's the battle of the trenches. Hey, you know what? Let's go to break here, man. Let's reset here. We got one more break coming up. Maybe get a little NBA mode for the first time in a long time here. I understand Brian's an NBA fan. Maybe talk some of that. And really just get ourselves geared and ready for the weekend here. We got one more break. We got one more break or two more breaks, Brian? I don't even know, man.
Yeah, technically 2 more breaks.
Never mind. We got 2 more breaks coming back, but it's all good, man. We're not going anywhere. We don't got any feet in the parking lot just yet because it is a little dark outside, and I don't want to stand in the parking lot. So with that being said, more on ESPN 690 when we get back.
What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jax, and I have something brand new to ESPN 690 to share with you. Every Jags home game morning, we are bringing you ESPN 690 Game Day Live from the Duval House. Brent Martineau will be live at the Duval House, right next to the bank, and I'll be in studio getting you ready for a Jags home game, the other games around the NFL, fantasy football, and even some Survivor Pool advice as well. Listen live every Jags home game morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's ESPN 690 Game Day Live, sponsored by the Duval House.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Sick of big banks drawing money out of Jacksonville? Want your money to stay here and help local folks? At 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, all of our capital is invested back into Northeast Florida. This includes our all-new hometown credit card. You get all the rewards and perks of a big bank, and every swipe invests back in Jax. Get 2 points for every $1, up to 50,000 bonus points, 24/7 fraud protection, pay with points, and tons more. Support your community with a hometown credit card from 1-to-1 Financial. Apply at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA, a proud Visa partner.
Whether you're a rock-solid hard athlete or a hardcore fan, in Little League, a pro, or a weekend warrior, Cora Physical Therapy is here to help you reach your goals. We're happy to announce that Cora is now open in Kingsland, on Boone and Haddock, and we're coming soon to Brunswick. With a total of 17 clinics in the Jacksonville region, there's sure to be one near your home or work. Call or come in today for a free screening. No physician's referral needed. CoraPhysicalTherapy.com, treating everyone right.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
Do you have a passion for sales? Are you known for building strong relationships? Do you love to compete and win? CMG Jacksonville is searching for a talented individual to join our family as a media consultant. This position will require a committed person who will forge great relationships with Jacksonville's business leaders and develop profitable campaigns for advertisers. If your talents are a match, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com or call 245-8732.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-333-1750. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-333-1750. That's 800-333-1750 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
For the ones who are always in the know.
Delivery confirmed.
For the ones who keep things running. For the innovators and the problem solvers. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, experienced staff at local branches, and free access to experts to help answer your toughest questions. So whatever challenge you face, we have the knowledge and products to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Brent Mortno from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Good win, we put it together. We just stuck to the game plan and kept ourselves engaged for most of the game, or the whole game. And credit to coach and credit to everybody hooping. Good, just another game. It goes in the left column.
Well, no. Who was that player from the Memphis Grizzlies?
That's Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson Jr., 27 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, wasn't just another game. Wasn't just you played hard. You beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. By the way, John Morant hurt. Sending the most positive vibes and all the prayers to former Murray State racer John Morant. But not only did you beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, you beat them 152-79. Huh? I beg your pardon? Now, Brian, do you give the Thunder 3 losses for that one, or do you just give them the standard one loss? Because you should. I don't care who's playing. I don't care if the Grizzlies are playing a high school team. You don't lose by that much.
I had to check and make sure that they weren't playing UNF
That's
for
what
a
I'm
second.
saying,
And
yeah.
I was like, wait a minute now.
Yes.
Like, what's the score again?
Yeah.
Everybody getting paid on the court?
Unreal, man. Unreal. Did you watch the game? Did you follow the game at all?
No, I didn't watch it. So, I just started seeing stuff like trending and popping up, and I was like, what's going on? And it was like a big halftime lead, and then it just grew and grew and grew. And I'm like, what in the world?
So, to me, the stat that sticks out to this one is the Memphis Grizzlies had 16 steals last night. Where if you play in FanDuel, that's a lot of points. 3-point percentage, 52%. Just, I don't know, man. What a blowout of a game. But I'll be honest with you, Brian, and that's why I'm glad you're here, man, because you talk NBA, you follow the NBA. Who's your team, by the way?
So I'm a Heat fan before LeBron got there.
Okay.
Really before D Wade got there.
Okay.
So like being look like I was 1 year old, and Tim Hardaway for some reason was like my guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And he was there.
Okay. Shout out to Udonis Haslem as well.
Yeah. And then Alonzo Mourning.
Oh yeah.
So that was my squad then, and then D Wade finally got there. Then Shaq came, and I'm like, let's go.
So I'll be honest. When it was D Wade, Miami was like my second team because D Wade coming from Marquette, grew up a really big D Wade fan. I was happy when he willed his team to the championship. That was definitely a fun year, to follow the NBA, and it was a big win in his career, obviously, as well. The NBA, so listen, there's going to be storylines every single year. There's going to be storylines, and there's going to be things to watch. The way I see it right now is, the Suns are an interesting team because the Suns, I think, got off, they were 1-2. And it's like, okay. And, this is classic NBA fandom. It happens in the NHL as well. Team gets off to a rocky start. Oh, what's going on? What's happening? Or a team gets off to a hot start. Oh, this is their year this year. I think eventually when you start talking like the first quarter of the season, which I think they're getting close to wrapping up on, you start to really see what teams are what, right? And you start to really see who these teams are. It takes more than 5 games. It takes more than 10 games to figure out, well, is this team the real deal or not? Are they contenders or pretenders? If we're talking about the West right now, there's 2 teams that obviously stick out to me in terms of, these teams are the real deal. Maybe 3 if you count the Utah Jazz. But the Golden State Warriors are playing like they got a team that has something to prove. Steph Curry right now playing at an MVP type level, 18-3, and they don't even have Klay Thompson back yet. Brian, Golden State Warriors, where they stand right now, team to beat in the West?
I think so, but here's the deal. Phoenix is...
And this is the other one.
Yeah.
18-game winning streak, by the way.
Phoenix is young, and they're just as good.
Yeah.
And so, Golden State, they have some young pieces, but if we're talking about their three best players, it's Steph, Klay, and Draymond. And, those guys, they aren't 25. They're just not. Mm-hmm. But you look at the core of Phoenix, outside of Chris Paul, which is, you can't really look outside of Chris Paul, but you start looking at Devin Booker. He's 25 years old. Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, who I actually met because I was living in Phoenix like a couple of years ago.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in passing. He is really tall. Like I'm tall. Like you're tall.
Yeah,
like
for
we're
sure,
almost
for
the
sure.
same height.
Yeah.
But you've met guys who are like 7 feet.
Sure.
It's a different look.
It's the real deal for sure. Yeah.
But Golden State, I think that they have everything it takes to really take it this year. And you're right, with Klay coming back, that is going to be insane because right now Steph is playing out of his mind. The team is playing out of its mind, even though they just lost to Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's going to be, and I don't know, like I'm not going to sell on the Lakers quite yet. It's hard to bet against LeBron, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, but they're struggling right now. COVID has something to do with that. I mean, they're not at full strength. Should we be talking more about the Lakers, or are they just, keep in mind, a lot of NBA left to play. But are the Lakers kind of just a team that doesn't have enough firepower? They're on the back nine of a lot of their careers. And do you think that they can keep up with a team like Phoenix or Golden State, or is it just not their year?
I just think that they have to make a move. And
Okay.
I'm not sure what that move is. I know going into the season, they could have chosen to pick up Buddy Hield from Sacramento,
Sure.
As opposed to, Russell Westbrook. Mm-hmm. And they decided to go with Russ. I get the reasoning why, but when you start looking at some of their games, I've only seen a handful of them. Mm-hmm. I think Buddy would have fit into that a bit more shooting-wise. They got Carmelo, and, AD can actually – he can pull up. And you got LeBron there, but as far as shooting to help open and space out the floor, really the way that you want to move your offense, I think that Russ is not really fitting in now. But with you, the same that you're saying that you can't bet against LeBron.
Yeah.
I won't bet against LeBron, but I've seen him lose now. Like this isn't 3
Sure,
years
sure.
ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen him lose prior to getting to the finals. I've seen him injured now. I know that there's a method to his madness, but these teams out here are hungry. And if you get through the West, you got KD waiting for you. So, I mean.
See, here's the thing. You don't want to bet against LeBron, but you're going to put more of your money on Steph Curry right now where it sits.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, let's quick go to the East before we head out here. So the East, I mean, there's a lot of interesting tidbits here to go off of. Brooklyn Nets, do they trade Kyrie Irving? Do they maintain him? Because this was a guy who was supposed to help build the championship team. Obviously, with the vaccine and the protocols and all this stuff, he's not playing right now. Do you see Brooklyn shipping him off, or do they deal with that headache, which is Kyrie Irving right now?
I mean, I think if there was an issue and they weren't in first place, I think that they would have to look at that. But now it's like playing with house money. It's just like, hey, we'll wait till Kyrie stops acting up. Or, I won't say that, but until we get on the same page,
Well put. The Chicago Bulls, second place right now. Obviously, DeRozan goes there, turns that entire thing around. They're playing good basketball right now. Pretenders or contenders?
I think that they're contenders, man. They're fun to watch.
Yep.
They're fun to watch.
Washington Wizards.
Surprise of the century.
Surprise of the century so far. Contenders or pretenders?
I don't know. I'm going to go with pretenders right now, only because it's the first year I'm seeing this. But, man, I'm happy for Bradley Beal.
It's the same here. I mean, I wish it was on the Milwaukee Bucks. I wish they went after Bradley Beal back in the day. But that guy, all-star year in, year out, finally getting some just due.
Yeah.
We know how you feel about the Bucks. Giannis is starting to make a push now again. Bucks starting to climb. What about your Miami Heat? How you feel about them?
Hey, they'll get into the playoffs, but just really quick before we wrap up.
What you got?
Giannis,
Yes.
closest thing to MJ that we've seen
Man,
since MJ.
I mean, there's no reason to butter me up, man. We're done with the show, but I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, he's well on his way in terms of dominance. If he can develop a three-point shot, he will be unstoppable. Unstoppable. And he's got that mindset, too, which MJ had, which I appreciate. And by the way, he's an easy guy to cheer for. There's not a lot of Giannis haters out there. All right, so with that being said, that was your NBA talk of, I don't know, the past 5 months or so. Hope you all enjoyed that. Shout out to Brian, man, for filling in today. Did you have some fun?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Can't wait to do it again.
Dude, you're all, hey, open door policy, man. I mean, hopefully Casey comes back and gets out of the airport, but open door policy, you're always welcome on this show. I mean, this was the first time of us working together. I thought it was fantastic, man. I definitely have your information. We'll give you a call. I think you made the team. For Austin Lane, for Brett Martineau in L.A., for Casey Kurtz, hopefully on a plane to L.A. pretty soon. I'm Austin Lane. Stay casual. Stay safe. We'll see you all on Monday, hopefully to talk about a competitive Jaguars game. We're out. Peace.
Scott Van Pelt here. If you haven't checked out the podcast, SV Pod, what are you waiting for? We're like right directly in the flight path for helicopters flying in and out of D.C. Otis the dog barking at deliveries. High-level intellectual conversation. Some gambling talk, talking with athletes, celebrities, musicians, and more. Also, we got my guy Stanford Steve riding shotgun, trying to keep me out of the ditches. Download and subscribe to SV Pod wherever you get your podcast. We certainly appreciate it. Rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
Now is the time to get an estimate on replacement windows. American Window Products of Jacksonville is a high-volume dealer offering a huge selection of products to keep your costs low. New windows from American Window Products can lower your energy costs and increase your curb appeal and security, all without breaking the bank. Call American Window Products for a free estimate at 904-667-0873 or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-343-8638. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-343-8638. 800-343-8638. 800-343-8638.
On the court, every shot counts. And every shot counts when it comes to COVID-19. I did my part and got the vaccine when it became available. The state of Florida made it easy for seniors like me. And now it's easy for all eligible Floridians to get a shot. In the fight against COVID-19, every shot counts. Schedule yours today.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Men, did you know that over half of all males suffer from ED or PE? Both of these conditions are highly treatable.
Ladies, if your man is suffering from ED or PE, he should talk to the specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center.
If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom because of ED or PE, the specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center offer custom blended medications.
There's no pain or surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem.
If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down,
Men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, it's affordable.
for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center, call 904-664-8217.
That's 904-664-8217. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217.
For the ones who are always in the know.
Delivery confirmed.
For the ones who keep things running. For the innovators and the problem solvers. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. Experience